The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 3 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott Lewis. It is June 14th, Friday, June 14th, 2024, man. Let's just, get into the whole thing. Hope y'all having a good Friday. We got a packed show for y'all. Y'all can follow me on Twitter, well, really all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. You can follow the Barberchair Network on all social media platforms at BarberchairNet. You can get in tune with the Patreon at patreon.com/Barberchair Network. Follow H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. And of course, get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can go to pillarsclub.co, or you can go to their Instagram at pillars_club, or you can visit any of their 3 Chicagoland locations. There's one in the West Loop over there on 1167 West Madison Street. There's also one in the Chicago Ridge Mall and in the Orland Park Mall. Get in tune with everything they've got going on there, man. We've got a big show today. There is no Dante. Dante's out sick, man. We actually got to give Dante a little bit of love because he was recording the newest episode of the Hot Corner, which is on the podcast, right on the platforms right now. If you want to get all your baseball stuff, it's Dante, Mikey, and Courtney. And the nigga was damn near down while recording. The nigga was having the shakes. I was like, bro, just take some PTO. Bang isn't here. He's at his Illuminati meeting in Atlanta. This nigga will be back on Monday. Courtney will be joining us in hour 2 as we're going to talk about some football and things of that nature. And Mikey will also be back on Friday, man. So I'm holding it down. So some of the transitions today look a little slow. Forgive me, bear with me, because I am producing and hosting at the same damn time, man. So, but I am not here alone today. I've got my co-host with me. I'm gonna bring them in right now. The special co-host. We've got, of course, y'all know this guy, Mr. Pavito himself. We've got my homie Tosin, man. You can follow him, man, as well. Because I see you got your Instagram right there. I was about to say the wrong social. You can follow him right there. TSNMKND on Twitter. You can follow Pav at Pavy World on all social media platforms. And I thank y'all brothers for joining me today. How y'all feeling?
Pav, you gonna go ahead?
I'm good. Had a long night, but we here.
What happened last night? Was it the typical Pavy night?
Started at Nice Guy. Then Holloway House was having their reopening party.
They were closed for a minute?
They remodeled.
Okay.
Then left there, went to Delilah. Left there, went to Apartment 200. Left there, went to Hookah.
So you said that with the most disgust.
Hookah. Then left there and went to Barry's. So it was.
You had a very stereotypical LA night.
It was.
I heard Delilah. I was like, "Oh, this nigga outside."
Yeah. Oh no, this nigga's the prince up in Delilah. Mr. McCoy, your table's ready.
So yeah, but we here. So yeah, we here.
And we got the homie Tosin here, man. If you don't know him, he's one half of the Shirtless Plantain Show. If you need to get all your soccer information, all your black soccer information, follow this guy right here, man. He will hold you down on everything that you need to know. How you feeling, G?
I'm good, man. About to be stressful ass summer. The Euro just started today. Copa America starts on Thursday. So, it's just in New York, all of a sudden, everybody wants to throw a party for soccer this weekend. I'm just like, yo, I can only be at so many places at one time. So it's a horrible city. Don't come to New York.
Don't come to New York. Stay out of New York. There's too many people there. Too many things to do. But before we get started, I just want to make an announcement a little bit about how the rest of this, summer will be going for. I'm not gonna hold you. So unless you've been living under a rock, the Boston Celtics have a chance to sweep tonight, and which means that the NBA Finals will be over. So if the NBA Finals ends tonight or Monday, and actually no, if it ends tonight, Monday will be our last show on a Monday, and then we're going to go to our I'm Not Gonna Hold You off-season schedule, as you can see right here. Starting July 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern will be I'm Not Gonna Hold You. The off-season will be each and every Friday leading up till week 1 of the NFL. And in week 1 of the NFL, we'll go back to our Monday and Friday schedule, man, and we're going to have some special content for y'all. July 20th is report date for the Chicago Bears training camp, and that will be my 3rd training camp covering the team. This is going to be even more hectic training camp because them HBO cameras will be there this year. So we're going to do a little special. We're going to have I got gonna be a lot of content I'm going to be collecting up at 1920 Football Drive. We're going to have y'all have nice little football stuff on these off-season episodes. So if the Celtics clinch tonight, Monday will be the last show, and it will be off for 2 weeks before July 5th. If this stretches any further, then when it ends, then we'll go on our little 10 to 2 week break. So like I said, July 5th, as you see once again, I'm not gonna hold you, the all season, 6 p.m. Eastern. Get into them, man. So let's just get right into it. Let's get into our first topic. To start the day, the Boston Celtics are trying to make history tonight to win their 18th, which would be the most, a record 18th NBA championship. Now, granted, they won majority of those before black people could vote, but that is neither here nor there. They would have a chance to win their second in the last 30 something years. This will be their first since 2008, which of course that was a Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen team, which really pissed me off when they won, because as you can see in the background, I am a Mamba disciple. I was not happy that night where they blew them out by like 35, whatever it was. So let's just get into it, man. What happened off game 2, game 3, which was really kind of pissed me off a little bit, which was a little bit how how it went. Just I didn't like how the whole thing went with the Mavericks. I was worried once they cut the lead down. It was like a 20-point lead, and for halftime, it's like getting closer. And it's because the way that the Mavericks play the ball. Mavericks play a lot of hero ball. It's like they were going for a lot of home run shots, those little pull-up threes and things of that nature. And the Boston Celtics just, chomped them down, kept playing their ball, getting to the lane. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, unfortunately, having his best game of the finals. And I knew right there, there was a point in game 2 where I knew that they were going to already lose the series. I was just like, yeah, this is just a better team. But after I saw how it went the second quarter, I'm like, they're not winning this game. This is going to be a sweep. This to the point where I think they went up by like 20, 25, something like that. I cut the game off. And then I even saw their comeback. I turned back when they cut it down to like 3 or something like that, but they couldn't hold it down. And now it just looks like it's going to be a sweep. I'm going to start with Pavy first. Pav, what do you feel will be the legacy, I guess, for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? What would this do for them to win this NBA championship?
First of all, I want to say, yes, this Boston Celtics run, especially with the team that they've had, that they won 60 however many games. They only up to this point in the playoffs, they only lost twice. Is one of the best runs actually that we've ever seen, but they suck. This team is like, bro, I really don't like watching this. Like, even the way they won game 3, what are we doing, bro? Like, I know this ain't what you asked me, but like, what are we doing, bro? Even when like they cut the lead back, then the last play when Al Horford just grabbed the ball and don't pick the ball up. And I'm like, bro, terrible, terrible basketball. But I mean, it obviously elevates them. Jaylen Brown caught like a bunch of flack for having the biggest contract in NBA history. I think that he's probably at this point, unless Tatum does something incredible these next 2 games, he's probably gonna win Finals MVP. Like he has probably the most landmark shot of the Finals, the mid range he hit in Game 3 over I think it was Tim Hardaway Jr. So like he's kind of validated, and obviously Jason Tatum, like even though I think there are better players than Jason Tatum in the league, like I think Luka is probably a better individual player. I think Giannis is. I think Embiid, when he's at least on the court, is better. Jokic is better, but it also validates him as well because this whole team has been close so many times, but it hasn't been able to win it. So I mean, obviously, like winning a ring for this team just validates them, and validates Brad Stevens and validates Joe Mazzulla, the coach. Like I don't think we have any questions about him anymore either. Like I think he's done a great coaching job as well. So I just think that this ring validates all of them. I mean, even like Drew Holiday, like if they win, he'll be a 2-time champion. So that brings him a different level of validation. So yeah, I think it just validates all of them, and makes us look at them a lot differently. And the monkey is off the back, and now you just want to see how many can they win. Because realistically, I mean, if you look at this team, I think all their main guys are still under contract next year. Nobody's really as old besides Al Horford, but I think Al Horford can at least walk on the court for 1 to 2 more years. This could be a team that could very well repeat next year. So we'll see. But I definitely think it validates all of them and makes you look at all of them in just a much different, much better light.
I think the number one thing too, what you said about repeating. I think the NBA right now is kind of becoming like the NFL as far as being a year-to-year league, where like it's going to be very tough. And they do on paper, like you said, everybody's under contract. I don't know what they're going to do about the Porzingis thing. That nigga, I gotta give Porzingis a love. He really thought he was gonna play off an injury that maybe 10 people on the planet Earth had before. So I gotta give him some love for that. But they're on paper set up to do it. But the NBA shifts so much. I think Milwaukee will have a full year of camp. I'm guessing they're going to add some things to that roster. Denver's not going to go anywhere. I guess OKC will be a year older. And I do believe there's going to be some power shift in the Eastern Conference. We'll talk about that in our final show before we go on our little mini break about what the top offseason storylines are. But we heard, maybe Jimmy Butler wants to go. We heard Zay from Windhorse on Pat McAfee show that Paul George isn't on the same page with the Clippers as far as contract negotiation. Maybe he was back out east. So I think on paper they have a chance to do that, but I'm really interested to see how it's going to play out. Tosin, what you think about the performance from the Jays this series? I know all the hate has been on Jason Tatum. What do you think a championship does for both of them if they're able to close this out?
Well, first of all, at least Jalen didn't really lie too much to Taylor Rooks. I know he said he tried to get like 5 or some shit. Like, but at least he got 1. 1 out of 5 is not that bad. But I mean, they finally did it. I feel like they've been playing together for like 7-8 years now, and it's about time. They finally got a championship. They've really good players in their own right. I think that what the championship does is kind of lets everybody like, okay, fine, they finally got the monkey off their back, like Pavy said. So it's just like, it's about time. I think that's really what it is. Like, we've been expecting them to win a championship. They've been in the finals a couple times and got their ass bust both times. But listen, they're finally here and they're finally growing up. I think that what we're seeing from Jason, at least, is like he's maturing. He doesn't have to, like, we want him to score a lot, but he's doing the other things that, is needed for his team. He's rebounding, he's assisting, he's getting plays in the right positions to like score. So he's doing his thing. It's not the sexiest of things, but all he does is just play ball and then go get deuce after the game anyway. So nothing is going to change for him. But I'm happy for Jalen. He can finally use his left hand a little bit more. So Jalen is finally fixing his with his shortcomings. Remember what he did last year against the Heat. So I know he said that he was like, I know he mentioned that that was something that he was stuck in his mind, like what happened against the Heat. So for both of them, it's just more so like, Pepper said, is validation. That everyone on that team is finally like being validated. And now Horford finally gets his ring. And I saw a video earlier today, maybe that reminded me, like, Al Horford's been around forever. It was Joakim Noah. And I was like, oh shit, it was him and Joakim Noah and Corey Brewer, Florida. So that man's been around forever. So it's about time he gets his ring. So
yeah, and I think too, unfortunately, this is going to put him in the basketball Hall of Fame, which me and Pavy have debated forever. Unfortunately, I think this will, because he has such a good college career. He's only 38 years old. but a solid NBA career. But he's actually been a contributor too. I feel like at the point every time he shoots a three, that joint is gonna go in. But yeah, I mean, it's a to me it will help all of them. And the thing about Joe Mazzulla, if you're Ime Udoka, what are you thinking right now? Watch this nigga. Like, was it worth it?
I mean, Ime's a Nigerian man. Nigga don't care. He probably doing something crazy right now in Houston. So
I mean, but shout out Ime though. Like, the Rockets will be a much better team next season. Like the Rockets will definitely be a much better basketball team next season. So I mean, obviously he's in the West, but Ime gonna have something to say in a couple years if he can get that thing right.
Yeah, but you still got to be mad that you could have got this one.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, somebody said the other day that Joe Mazzulla's Rain Man. Like, I remember he was like raining off like all the different things. Like, yo, he's a really good coach. I think that we just sometimes don't realize like this is a really good coach. So Joe's done his thing, and happy for him. But it sucks for Ime. But you pay, you do stupid things, you can win stupid prizes. So he'll fix it. So.
And the thing, I didn't know Joe Mazzulla was such a good quote. Like, he has had some of the best quotes this season.
He's hilarious.
Like, he's super funny. They said what Derek Wright said. He told him that congratulations for being coach of the month. He said nobody cares. Like, it's fucking coach of the month. Like, So much love to him, man. We'll get to our actual preview of how tonight's gonna go in a minute. But I gotta equal opportunity slander, man. I don't want to do this, but we gotta get into it. My man Luka Doncic. Luka, man, what are you doing, dog? Like that this past week, game 3 was, I'm not gonna go as hard as Windhorse win, even though he was cooking and he was 100% right. But I think you're seeing the problems of what he is. I feel like the bad things he does, like the nigga don't even try on defense. Like, I've never seen a star. Like, I'm not saying that Jokic is a great defender because he's not, but they don't go at him. Like, I feel like they were looking to go at Luka multiple times this entire series. He doesn't even try to guard Tatum. He doesn't try to guard anybody. He's like somebody who, let me just get the ball back so I can shoot again. This series is done. No matter if they win tonight, win the next two, try to make it fake, interesting, whatever, this series is over. And I think it's time for him to start focusing on what he needs to do and what he can do to eventually become a world champion, because the heat is about to be on him now. Because next year, I'm pretty sure he's going to be favored to win MVP. With the way everything has been shaken out, people are going to be expecting a lot more from the Dallas Mavericks as a team. You can't do the play-in thing, and you honestly can't even do the 5th seed thing that you did this year. You kind of snuck up on people this year. People are going to be expecting more from Luka Doncic. They're going to be expecting more from Kyrie Irving and this team for you to be an actual legitimate Western Conference contender, NBA Finals contender going for your own out. That means that he's going to need to be better defensively. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be a lockdown defender whatsoever, but he's got to be able to at least be somewhat decent. And I kind of feel like in the first couple rounds, he was at least trying. I don't know what has happened in this round where it's like it looks just ridiculous. So you have that, the whining, which he's always done, but you can't foul out in the NBA Finals game. First of all, David Stern would have rolled over in his grave. He would have never called that final fouling. But what are you doing trying to draw a charge when you already got 5 fouls at the end of a very crucial game when your season's on the line? So he needs to get that together. As Windhorse said, he does this even when he's playing for his country. He did this last summer as well. He's got to change his whole makeup and think about what can I do to improve? How can I mature as a player to be able to take my team to the next level? Because now the slander is about to switch. The slander light is coming off Jason Tatum, and it's going to be right at Luka Doncic. We always talk about, why you don't slander this person like you slander the next. It went from after LeBron, it was, can Giannis do it? Giannis has no bag. Giannis can't do anything. Giannis wins the championship. Then it's, Jokic wins all these MVPs, but it doesn't really count come playoff time. Jokic win a championship. Jason Tatum's been in the Eastern Conference Finals since he was a child. When is it going to pay off? He's going to be an NBA champion with tonight or in a couple games. So now it's on Luka, and I'm interested to see how he's going to change. And this shouldn't be big things that you should have to change. Not like, the easy part to me is there. He can play offensively. He's great. He's been all NBA 5 times already. That's there. But now he needs to take advantage of, take this loss, accept it, embrace it, and see how can you get better from that. Pav, you've been on the front lines of talking about how bad Luka has been defensively and how much he's gotten away with. What did you see in game 3 that you really, really hated, and how you think he can build on that even if it starts a little bit in this series.
I thought he was crying too much, bro. Like even like just I thought he was playing to the refs way too much and crying way too much, and his crying was actually affecting them. Because you were giving up baskets. Like I think it was 2 plays in a row in which he tried to flop and get fouls, and you gave up 2 straight layups. So his crying is literally affecting them because you're giving up baskets. And granted, yes, he is playing one way, but at the same time, I do think that probably no other player has as much on them offensively every night as Luka Doncic. I also think that he has some physical limitations that make it hard to play defense. I mean, even I like saw a clip of Luka from the Clippers series in the bubble. Looks like a completely different guy, like body wise. Like he got old now. He's gained some weight. I think he has physical limitations that make it harder for him to play defense. And I think that the reason why all these guys, Kyrie included, PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., all these guys look better in the other rounds was because Boston always has 5 guys on the court that can pass, dribble, shoot. For the most part, no other team they play had that. Minnesota really only Ant can create his own bucket. The Thunder series, Jalen Williams in theory can do that, but he wasn't doing that shit. So really you only had Shea. And then the Clippers series, I mean, really you only had PG and Harden, I guess, for the most part, but because Kawhi wasn't there. So I think it was just a bad matchup for them. Obviously, because again, they don't have great individual one-on-one defenders. But the thing that you have to do, like even if you Magic Johnson, right? Granted, it was the 80s and they weren't doing as much switching and things like that, but still, he led the league in steals. Allen Iverson, he led the league in steals. Steph Curry, you know, like when they went 73-9 in 2016, he still led the league in steals. So like you can't be bad on ball and bad off ball. If you're gonna be bad on ball, you at least have to bring something to the table defensively off ball, like play the passing lanes well. He's not even doing that. So yeah, I definitely think he needs to step up. But just in general, bro, like I think there's the reason why I always question if you could win with Luka, because like he plays Luka ball. Like when he's gonna dribble the ball a lot. When it works, it works, and when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And you also playing one way. So I mean, we'll see. I think that I guess we can talk about it ad nauseum. I guess you can get in better shape. I guess that they can, maybe figure out a way to take less of the load off him offensively, but at the same time, that's kind of what he wants to do. So I don't really know how you do that. Also, I think that if he was better off ball in general, he's not even a good off ball offensive player. I think if he was even better off ball offensively, it would probably help him defensively because you wouldn't be dribbling 20 times every possession trying to get a shot because we could run more actions for you and more offense for you, and you let other guys create offense for you, and you're not the one creating everything for everybody else. But yeah, I mean, obviously he has to step up because what we saw in Game 3 and really this whole series had just been completely unacceptable, bro. Like you just can't swipe at the ball while letting people walk by you every time, bro. Like that's not gonna get it done at the highest levels of sports. So yeah.
Tosin, what you see from Luka this last game, and what did you dislike the most, and what do you think he can work on?
I hate the fact that he didn't play on defense. Like, play defense. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're a superstar, right? Like, show some effort. I mean, Kobe said it the best about, and I don't want to compare those two, but they remind me of each other. James Harden and Luka's, like, they're great offensively, but they're a black hole for their team, and it showed. So I think Luka just in the summertime just needs to like generally cut weight because he looks big. Like, he looks like he's like can't breathe, but it works for him, I guess. But he just needs to figure out how is he going to fix his intensity. Like Pav said, like he needs to be off the ball better. I mean, you're not going to help your team trying to do 1 versus 5, especially against a team like Boston who are a juggernaut. They do what they do, and that's why they're beating them really bad because Boston is a team. They got the most random people going off the bench hitting threes, and they're all in sync. But yeah, Luka just has to like really, really step up and show that he's a leader. I mean, we know what he can do offensively, right? It's like, what can you do on the other side of the ball? So just step up that way, man, and lose some weight. And what's it called was right for taking his beer away from him too. Like
Michael Finley.
Yeah.
They are 0-3 since he took the beer away, by the way. 0-3 since he took the beer away.
I saw a tweet that said, "Take Luka to happy hour before Game 4." You can see something generational.
Yeah. Take him, make him hookah Doncic. Take him for hookah and brews, and we'll see how that pans out. But one thing to me also that kind of stood out a little bit was it looks like everything hurts. Like his whole body hurts when he's up there running out of goal. Like Jokic look like a big dude, but it don't look like he's in pain. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference between the two of them. Where, and Luka, I feel like and I gotta shoot Luka a little bell too because he's also hurt. But I know I'm not gonna use that as an excuse because you're out there, you're healthy. But there's some things that go with that as well. But I think the hard part for Luka is actually, there. Like you already know, that's the offensive part. He knows how to do it. Just try. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the main thing. We got a quote right here that says, "Don't you think it's the Mavs' job to protect him on defense? He's doing everything on offense, like the Warriors have been protecting Steph."
But Steph steps up defensively. Like,
right.
like you even saw like the Rocket series when they were trying to ISO on Steph. Like Steph would at least try. Granted,
Yeah.
Steph is not gonna go out there and be Gary Payton, but Steph will at least, especially once he gained weight and like gained muscle. Because a lot of the reason why he was so bad defensively, outside of what Kyrie was doing in like 2016 to him, was the fact that like he was just small, like skinny. But once he gained weight and he got bigger, like yeah, you can attack him, but he'll at least try. Luka has to try more. And yet I feel you on the protecting him on defense, but like when you play against a team like Boston, who's really like, no, you come here every time, how can we protect you? I mean, I guess we could like send a double, but if we send a double, we letting another 38% 3-point shooter just shoot wide open shots. So it's like, nah, bro, you got to step up at least a little bit and play better. Now, granted, like I said, I do think he has physical limitations that, lateral quickness limitations that maybe won't allow him to, but you got to bring something to the table, bro. Like if you're going to be bad on ball, you got to at least get 2 steals a night. Even Harden, he led the league in steals. That really did happen. He still led the league in steals. Like you have to bring something to the table on the other side of the ball.
I agree with that. Like the temp has to at least be there. Like it literally looks like he just waiting for them niggas to put their shot up so he can go shoot again. Like that's literally how it looks. It should not be like that in the NBA Finals, man. So at the bare minimum, man, I hope that at least starts tonight. So let's get into our preview for the night NBA Finals. We're about 3 hours away from tip off of Game 4. If you're a sports fan, don't get me wrong, I love baseball. Getting into the WNBA, so there's definitely gonna be stuff to watch this summer. But I'm not ready for this series to be over. And if you're a hockey fan, that's the same thing over there in Stanley Cup. The Panthers took a 3-0 lead on the Oilers last night. All the fall sports are 1 win away from being over. So even though we know Boston's gonna win this, I would like for the Mavericks to go out there, have some pride, not let them pop bottles on their on their home floor. I would love for them not to do that, and I would also love if they were able to win Game 5 as well. Let's at least make this some type of fake decent. Tosin, what do you expect to see tonight, and who you got coming out on top?
First of all, Boston's gonna win. I think this series is cooked, and Boston just gonna, they got to wrap it up. I do want to see Dallas come out a little bit more hungry though. You're at home, and also don't wear those navy jerseys. I don't know when the NBA started letting their team start. I sound like an old man, but
no, we've lost our way. What happened to the traditional home and road jerseys?
Yeah, I don't like that at all. So just wear your white jerseys and actually step up. Like that's all I want to see from them, is actually show that you give a damn. Like don't be embarrassed at home. Like you're literally at home. So step up and show that you actually, you care, you give a shit about your fan base. So that's all I want. It's just effort.
Pat, what do you want to see tonight and how you got tonight going?
I want to see them in this damn series, bro. I'm tired of watching it. So I would love to see them beat them by like 25 points. So I actually win by 25 points. So I can stop paying attention midway through the third quarter and go on about my day and go on about my summer. That's what I would love to see happen in this series, bro. It's not even interesting basketball to me. It's just drive, kick, swing, shoot a 3. And if we make a whole bunch of them, we win. If we start missing them, we start losing. For both teams. Ain't like they running some crazy schemes. But what I do think it happened, I think Dallas will go out there. I think Dallas will go out there and have some pride. Win on their home floor. Like you don't want to you don't want the history books to say that you got swept. So I think they'll go and they go out there and win a game. Like if the Heat could win a game last year. I think the Heat won a game last year, right? If I'm
they won
not
like Game 4, I think it was.
If the Heat can win a game last year, bro, the Mavericks can win a game this year. So yeah, I think they'll take care of business tonight and at least get one on the board, just so we don't see a sweep. Plus, I think it would be cool if Boston closed it out, actually in Boston, just for the moment for those fans. But what I want to see happen is that they end this damn series tonight. Is what I want to see happen.
Yeah, I always prefer home court championship celebrations. I know that it would look better. Is that but I'm usually when most series go up 3-0, I'm with you, Pat. Let's just end this shit.
Especially this one.
Like let's just end it. I kind of want to see a little maybe because I just hate the Celtics. Like I just the only thing I'm taking with me is the fact that Jason Tatum won't be Finals MVP unless he just have some miraculous, this series stretches a little bit and he has some miraculous attempts. I'm leaving here with something. With Jaylen Brown being Finals MVP, I can at least keep my agenda going. Of that nigga better not be in no top 5 conversations, whether it's rational or not. I really don't care. But tonight I'm gonna go. I will hope Dallas wins. I'm kind of with you, Tosin. I do kind of feel like Boston might snuff them. But I'll say this. Dallas better win by double digits. If this is a close game, they're going to lose. If this is one of those things in game 3 where they go up by double digits early and then they slowly break it down, it's a 15-point lead now. You get down to halftime, it's a 9-point lead. Boy, you know what? Celtics up 2. They're going to lose. Have some pride out there. Send your fans out with a W in the last game of the season at home. And just don't let them clinch on your home court. That's got to be humiliating for you as a competitor. You already got the dude who runs Barstool, asking Mark Cuban where's a good place to pop bottles out here. Like, have some pride, dog. Like, don't let these niggas clinch on your home floor. Let them do that over there in Boston. So I'm going to say that I'm going to hope that the Mavs win tonight, but deep down in my heart, I do kind of feel like Boston closes them out, man. On Monday, we'll do a what does this mean? Break it down with this actual team and their rundown. But I'm not ready to do that until the actual confetti starts to flow. Shout out to Orlando in the chat. He said, perfect getting to the shit sandwich of NBA season. That's actually what y'all think about this? To me, it was one of the worst in recent memory. Pat, what you think? Because even you didn't watch that many games as much as you used to this year.
I mean, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it wasn't like incredible, but it was cool. I thought we had moments in the playoffs that were dope. I thought we had moments during the season that was dope, but I guess we can kind of like an era change. And I think the league needs to embrace the era change. Like, bro, I'm tired of seeing the Lakers and Warriors on TV every time. I'm tired of seeing Lakers and Suns on TV. I'm tired of seeing, some of these matchups that we've been seeing forever on TV. But it was all right. Like, it wasn't incredible, but it was cool. Like, I didn't hate it, but it definitely wasn't the best season that I've ever watched in my life.
Positive P. Like I always say, you're gonna be a great father for pointing out the positive things of the season. So, what you think about this year?
I mean, it wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst, but I mean, at the end of the day, like Pat said, we got to start coming up with new narratives. I mean, I saw the other day on ESPN, they were talking about LeBron still. I was like, come on, man. Like, LeBron hasn't been playing basketball for like the last month and a half, 2 months. Like, LeBron is somewhere in Cannes, France or something. I don't know where LeBron is right now. We don't need to talk about him right now. We got enough talent to talk about, other people right now. So it wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. I mean, I think the cool thing is you're starting to see more superstars emerge. Like Ant is coming into his own, and you're starting to see things like that. But I want to double back what you were saying about winning at somebody else's arena. I remember when I think it was Draymond, because Draymond's wild disrespectful like that. He said when we came back to Cleveland, it still smelled like champagne. I was like, you don't want somebody talking about you like that.
Steph said that too. It was both of them niggas too. Yeah, Steph said that. Yeah.
That's disrespectful as shit. So
yeah, and that was they blew that lead.
Yeah, Ja's coming back.
Return of Ja Wick. I'll say this. I think the storylines this season have been cool. It's been, the rise of the new superstar, seeing Anthony Edwards, his run to the conference final. I mean, even seeing Luka actually get to the NBA finals. I mean, he's been crowned to do these things since he got in the NBA. I mean, it was cool to see OKC and what they did. It was cool to see the Knicks run. So there was some good storylines. The actual basketball on the court was bad. It was bad. This was the most forgettable regular season. To the point where usually it's like after the Super Bowl, I tap in a little bit, see what's going on. I probably combined maybe front to back watch 15 regular season games. And I think even the storylines of playoffs are better than the actual series. Like, I mean, these series, this season, this playoffs were actually good. It wasn't a lot of them. So I'm not gonna sit there and say the NBA has a problem or anything, because like you said, Pav, it's in a transition, but also they're about to get stupid media deals. So obviously the money's not a problem. but I just hope that eventually it will get a little better. I mean, the All-Star game, I'm just going to chop it up that we're never going to get a competitive All-Star game again. Yeah, I think even
It's over with. It's cooked.
Adam Silver kind of alluded to that in his finals press conference. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you want me to do. Like, we put money up, you know what I'm saying? We didn't had some of the old heads talk to the young players. They don't give a shit. So I think that's going to be a dead period. But, maybe hopefully the playoffs get better later on. But I was not a fan of
playoffs weren't bad, bro. It's just that there were a lot of injuries that kind of put like a damper on things. Obviously, like Embiid's dead every year, but the Knicks will have dead. But I thought the Knicks series was dope. Obviously, Giannis and Dame not being able to go put a damper on it. Like the playoffs weren't bad though. Like even the Nuggets and Timberwolves series I thought was cool. Even the Timberwolves Maverick series, granted they won in 5, but every game was close. I mean, so it wasn't bad. Even Boston Pacers, granted they swept them, but every game was close. Like the Pacers could have realistically won 2 games in that series. I just think that we didn't get some of the long drawn out 7-game series that you want to have in the playoffs.
There wasn't much drama. I think is the best word. Drama. Wasn't like last year, I really wasn't a fan of last year's final. There was some drama, the series with the Celtics, the trick off between the Celtics and the Sixers. Last year's Eastern Conference Finals with a he almost blew that 3-0 lead. There was some intrigue in that. I think probably the most intriguing series was, like you said, the ones that actually sweeps. Like Lakers Nuggets was actually a really good series. It was just a sweep, but. We'll see how this goes, further on when you get rid of when LeBrons and the Stephs and the KDs go away. But it was some fun things. But like you said, the playoffs I didn't hate, but it could have been better. I think I was just disappointed by these finals. I really thought we was going to get a competitive finals. Like I'm not shocked that Boston was going to win out, but there was no part of me that thought that when we were doing our preview a week ago that I'd be sitting up here like, oh, well, the series is pretty much over. There was no part of me that thought that. So that's what I was kind of disappointed about. But let's move on our next topic, man. We've had a big loss in the NBA this year, this past week, couple days. Really, the sports in general. The legend, the icon, the logo himself, Mr. Jerry West, passed away this week. He was 86 years old. Let's just go over my man Jerry West. Resume real quick. First of all, he's in 3 different wings of the Basketball Hall of Fame. He averaged 27 points per game, 5.8 rebounds a game, 6.7 assists per game. He won the NBA championship in 1972. He is the first ever NBA Finals MVP, 14-time NBA All-Star, won an All-Star Game MVP, a 10-time NBA All-First Team. For all defensive first team. He was a scoring champion in 1970. He was assist leader in 1972. He is on the 35th, the 50th, and 75th NBA anniversary teams. Of course, his number 44 is retired by the Los Angeles Lakers. He won the NCAA Final Four Most Outstanding Player in 1959. His number is also retired by West Virginia, where he played. He had a Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2019. He is an 8-time NBA champion as an executive and a 2-time executive of the year, man. This dude, to me, is the quintessential Laker. I mean, he should be Mr. Laker because the Lakers would be nothing without him. I mean, when they moved from Minneapolis, he was the first star. Before Wilt, before Kareem, for any of those guys, it was Jerry West. And very rarely when you have like guys, who are this legendary, who I have had personal run-ins. Me and Pavy have been around Jerry West multiple times, doing these couple years of covering the Clippers. And he's one of the few people I feel have like an aura. Pavy, you can kind of speak to this as well, where I've met him. I've met Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 2 of the older guys. And it's just like, oh, shit, it's like a monument in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And now, like when I met Kareem, wasn't the most savory run in. He didn't do nothing to me. He was kind of asshole to the kid that was there. But once I saw his documentary and I realized just how Kareem is, like he wasn't doing it on purpose, I kind of changed my opinion on him a little bit. But Jerry West was legitimately just nice. I mean, the first time I met him, he sat down at the table. It was me, Pavy, and there was a couple other members of the Clipper media. And everybody else, he just talking to everybody else. And this is my first time. I'm looking at everybody like, oh, so we just gonna act like the logo they said on this table. And Pavy like, oh no, he come over here all the time. Like he's super cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's super cool. So he had that. And I mean, one time it was me, shout out to homie TPJ. I forgot what game it was. It was Tom Brady's last season. and it was a Sunday night game, and they were playing somebody, and he was up there. That motherfucker ain't finna retire. Like I'm like, you sound like Jay West on Winning Time. But you see all these stories about him, and just from the very, very small run-ins I've had him, he was a cool dude. So even though somebody was 86, and 86 is a life, so I don't want to be up there. Oh, it's super sad. Like if you, to me, once you get past 80, oh man, I'm super sad. That thing should go away. You should kind of honor the life more than anything. He lived that this long. It's crazy that he outlived, like, we didn't expect Kobe to go before him. Like, I saw a video today that I put on my Instagram of just the relationship he had with Kobe. And there's, it's gonna be a lot of probably next year's gonna be a lot of tributes to him. Which is gonna be interesting with the Laker thing, because him and the Lakers did not have the best relationship. Like, he never felt appreciated by the Lakers. Going all the way back from his run-ins with the original owner before Jerry Buss got there with Ken Cook, and just everything he did. Like, he is the reason the Lakers are the Lakers. I mean, he was part of the team, not part of it. He was on the team when they drafted Magic Johnson. That when they brought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he formed Showtime. He was the one who said, nah, I shouldn't be the coach. Pat Riley should be the coach. He's the one who found this 17-year-old kid from Philadelphia, and said, yo, he's going to be the one. Shaq, you need to come over here. And just look at all the other dynasties as well. I mean, he helped bring the Lakers 2 more championships by basically gift wrapping, which we thought was gift wrapping. We didn't know Mark Gasol would actually eventually be a good player. And then, you look at it with hindsight, that was actually a good trade. But at the time, we didn't know what that was. Kind of felt like he was helping the Lakers. You get Paul Gasol over there, Kobe and Powell went back-to-backs. He was the reason that Kevin Durant came to Golden State. And of course, even though the Clippers haven't done anything, but just by getting those two to the Clippers, this shows the whole legacy of what Jerry West has done. Pav, what you think about, of course, your run-ins with Jerry West and just his legacy that we have right now?
I mean, Jerry was always cool, but obviously, man, Jerry he was one of the NBA's first great superstars. And I mean, we could talk ad nauseum about what he's done throughout the game of basketball and his, I don't know how many, what 60 years and being part, well, shit, more than that, 70, however many, just a lifelong of being a part of the game of basketball. So I mean, it's just incredible. And also, like, that first generation of stars of NBA players, the Oscars, the Jerrys, the Bill Russells. Obviously, Will's been gone for a minute. Just all those guys are getting older. They ain't got too much longer left. Unfortunately. So you just hope that all these guys can get their roses while they can still smell them, and can be honored. I'm sure Jerry knew his place with the game and with the Lakers and just in basketball and sports culture in America in general. I mean, the man was a logo. So I mean, yeah, just a life well lived. And yeah, man, shout out Jerry West, and just appreciate everything he's done for the game. And he's one of the reasons why we can sit up here and have these discussions from my household about the game of basketball, because he was one of the pillars and one of the people who helped get the game to where it is today. So yeah, shout out Jerry West.
One of my favorite Jerry West moments too is when JJ Redick went up there. Was like, look who there's playing. He was like, my nigga, you average 12. Like,
no. He said, what did he do that affected the outcome of games? Crazy slander. What did he do that affected the outcome of games? Is crazy slander.
Exactly. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? There's different eras. But Tosin, man, give us some words on what you think about the logo and his legacy.
Man, listen, he's one of the greatest, just like anything, like just what he did. Like, and I think one of the coolest things about him is that he did it as a player and executive, right? And he just knew exactly when to leave. When he left the Warriors, he went exactly to the Clippers and did great there. So Jerry is also like that character that was in Winning Time is exactly who he is. Like y'all said, like some of the quotes I was listening, I was like, this guy's an asshole, but he's great. It's like he's a dickhead, but everyone loves him for it. And that's just who he was. Like when he said, my favorite quote of his was just like, everybody says they're a dog, I'm a wolf. And I was like, you know what? You got it. I was like, you got it. So no, he's a great man.
He told Kobe that what did he say? Wallabies or something eat black mambas. Like he was like,
yeah, mongooses or something.
Yeah, mongoose. That's what it was.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about Jerry too, I mean, that was really cool is the fact that he's the whole entire logo of the NBA. Like that is absurd to think about. Like one person is a logo of a whole entire league. So shout out to him and rest in peace to his soul. I do like the fact like the Warriors dynasty wouldn't be where they are without him. I mean, he's we're gonna trade away Clay. He's just like, nah, let's not do that, and it worked itself out. So Jerry has an amazing legacy, and the rest is so.
One funny joke, and I know that even Jerry West will probably laugh on this. They said Jerry West would rather have died than to watch the Celtics win another championship.
That was funny.
And anybody knows the quotes of Jerry, he said, I couldn't even look at Green for the longest time.
I mean, I won't be shocked. That's the reason why. Real hate energy on the way out, showing exactly who he is. Like,
and then they got Bob Cousy on the head. Bob Cousy said, first of all, I didn't know Bob Cousy was alive. Like, he still is? Yeah, he's still alive. He said I think he called. He was on some radio station a couple days ago, and he said, "I know I'm in overtime." He said, "I'm like 93." He said, "I know I got 1 foot out of here. I just want to see Celtics win one more before I get up out of here." I'm like, "My nigga, you're being greedy because you've been here for all of them.
Every single last one.
Every single last one. You've been here." So, and then he even said something. Well, Kyrie showed he wasn't a superstar. I'm like, all right, let's look at you the right way. We don't want you like is there a hint of racism here? So I was like, let's just make sure you go out and we know Bob Cousy being a legend. Bob Cousy. Don't be on here sounding C now.
Kyrie's not a superstar, but it's all love.
He's not. But you should have heard the way he said it. He's not a superstar, but it was just like
he's just old, man.
Yeah, he's just an old nigga.
Everybody who's old and white and talks about anybody African American sounds racist.
That's also why I said here's a question too. This is all topic, but I asked the homies this: do you think Kim Mulkey is racist? I was like, no. I think she's just an old white woman from the South. That's what I think.
Yo, Bob Cousy's 95, bro.
He's 95. Yeah.
God damn, like this man is still kicking.
He on borrowed time.
Yeah, but
that's wild as shit.
But no, for real, like that whole first generation of stars are getting older. So like I said, I hope they all get their flowers and know how much they mean to the game. Because like I said, he's 95. West was 83. I don't know how old Rick Barry is.
West was 86.
Yeah, 86. Bill Russell gone. Will been gone for a minute. Oscar is old. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Bill Walton just died too, so it's just like
R.I.P. Bill Walton, man. Bill Walton.
I think and this is like not to distract the point. I think as we as sports fan, we sometimes slander a lot of the older dudes, right? But they paved the way. Like even me, like when I look at like soccer people when they talk about soccer and shit, I'm just like, yo, listen, if it wasn't for certain players, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So it's just like you have to obviously we make fun of like the older niggas, but it's like without them, we won't be here, So it's just like pay respect to like the older people who paved the way. So.
Yeah, exactly, because they were making the money and things like that, man. But let's move on. We're gonna stay on the Lakers. I know this is a topic that Pavy is gonna enjoy talking about. I think the Lakers mystique is gone. I think if it's not gone, it's
been gone. Listen. The Lakers, God rest his soul. But when Kobe signed that poison pill contract, that was it. When Kobe signed that contract and when the great Dr. Buss died, that was it. The Lakers, honestly, over the better part of almost 2 decades now, have been one of the worst run franchises in the NBA. If LeBron James didn't wake up one day and say, "Hey, I want to be a resident of Los Angeles," this was
really his discussion.
He woke up one day and said, "I want to be a resident of Los Angeles," and that's the only reason why they are relevant to basketball. And for the past decade, they're a horribly run franchise. Literally, they lucked up and got a ring. Thank God they got a ring. Rob Pelinka been living off that ring for 4-5 years. He's made horrible managerial decisions. They fucking paying 3 coaches still because they want to keep firing coaches. They also apparently is broke boys now. They ain't got money like that with the new owners that's coming in. The mystique been gone. And if you a player, you gotta live in California where he's high as taxes. We ain't gotta come to the Lakers. We can go somewhere else. The Clippers have been a better run franchise over the past decade. Do you know how horrible that is?
That's terrible.
Like, yes, I know they want a ring.
Fans. I'm like,
yes, I know they want a ring, and a ring counts for something. But
it counts for something. But outside of Lakers fans, but I'm gonna be real. Let's be all jokes aside. Outside Lakers fans, we don't look at that ring the way we look at it. And I'm not saying it's right. But we don't look at we don't look at that ring. No. We're supposed to look it. Everybody looks at it as the Mickey Mouse Invitational.
They have been one of the worst run, arguably up there with the Pistons, the Bulls. They in that category of terrible. Pistons, Bulls, name some of the trash franchises. They in that category.
You had to throw the Bulls.
You forgot the Hornets.
Oh yeah, the Hornets not even an NBA team. They should be sent to fucking the Euro League. That don't even. That's a whole nother level of terrible. Yeah, they should be sent to G League too good. Send them to Europe.
Pat, I got
Greek League.
I
Not
got a
even
stat for
Europe.
y'all that's gonna blow y'all mind about
Go
the
for it.
Lakers. I saw this on Dan Levitard. I couldn't believe it, but it's true. In the last 12 seasons, the Los Angeles Lakers have been higher than a 7th seed one time.
That is nasty work.
That's not
That
that's
is
not that's not
crazy.
shocking. Do we remember what happened after 2010?
Yeah,
As soon as Andrew Bynum knocked JJ Barea out the sky, it was over with.
it was over with.
I think what sums up the Lakers is when Nick Young and them, where they were like goofing off in the sideline. Kobe looked at him and Kobe said, "I don't want to be here no more, dog." I just seen them.
And they were dancing.
Yeah, like and Kobe's looked at him like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, is this who I'm around now?" So, but it's funny because like I hate cross sport comparisons, you know that. But like the Lakers remind me of my favorite team, Man United, where it's just like these are some legendary franchises ran by a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, what they have, and you know, Lakers just need a better general man. They just need good top management because I don't know what they're doing over there. Like it's just a really, really just horrible team. Gridiron Gang is crazy.
The Hornets
Gridiron
belong
Gang
on
is
Gridiron Gang.
Gridiron Gang is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's as Pavy said for years. Pavy said it as soon as The Last Dance came out. He said, "Nigga, the Bulls ain't shit." And me being a Chicago sports fan, I debated that for a long time.
No, they not shit, bro. Michael, they just happened to draft Michael Jordan. That's what the Bulls did. They drafted Michael Jordan,
and they've been living off that for 100. Look, the Bulls Instagram account be active in June, not because of what's currently going on. Let's talk about this 28th anniversary. Let's talk about this 25th anniversary of the championship that Clinton was in office for.
Yeah. Yo, you know what's crazy? You know how bad Lakers were in Kobe's last season? These niggas won 17 games.
17. 17, and we forget that because they, the Kobe game. Like
we do not.
A lot of people forget that, bro. A lot of people
forget that. I was living in LA.
I was there with you,
Xavier Henry was starting.
Yeah, nigga, I remember I thought I was gonna go down there at least try to catch the game in like Tom's Urban or something, nigga. The Uber prices was high, like it was a playoff game going on. Like these niggas are been eliminated. There was a team in the Bay Area getting ready to make history, and they put them niggas on ESPN too. Like when
the Lakers never actually have to win again. The Lakers and Bulls are two teams that never actually have to win again. They will make money forever based off of their history. They could sell Kobe jerseys for the rest of their life and make $1 billion a year. And they got two different Kobe jerseys, so you want both of them.
Everybody goes to Staples. United Center is full. They were third in attendance
in the league too.
No, actually, no. The Bulls were number 1 in attendance last year. They were third.
It's the worst stadium in the league.
It is. I don't know about the worst in the league, but it's up there. It's up there.
Y'all ever think the Bulls and Lakers are going to get back, or they're just going to be shit forever?
I think once LeBron decides to be a full-time movie producer, the Lakers are done.
It's going to get dark.
The Lakers are done. And I think that that's the only hope for the Bulls. And, of course, in the local hour, we're going to break down how to realistically save the Bulls, at least be competitive. This is the Bulls. This is where the Bulls are screwed because even with the White Sox, when Jerry Reinsdorf dies, they're going to sell the team. And you're going to get another owner. Now, if you're a White Sox fan, I'm no longer a practicing White Sox fan. But if you are a White Sox fan, your best bet is you hope they still don't move the team to Nashville or something like that. But if they stay in Chicago, you have to actually. The MLB, I personally don't think that the MLB is going to allow that. But I don't care either way because it's a Cubs city regardless. And them niggas stink too, by the way. And them niggas stink too. I saw a record the other day. The last 30 games, the Cubs and the White Sox got the same record. But I'm not gonna go there today. But with the Bulls, Jay Reinsdorf has instructed his family to keep the team when he dies. So you better hope that Michael Reinsdorf wakes up one day, decides how to run basketball team. That's the only thing you're gonna be able to get because I don't know what else to tell you. The Lakers are gonna be in the same boat, just with a couple more championship banners out there. We're just gonna be thinking about that. And like you said, I think Pat, what you said is the best. LeBron just wanted to move to LA.
He just wanted to move to LA, bro.
That's all it was. He just wanted to move to LA. You got to the point. You got Dan Hurley. Like this whole coaching search.
It's a
joke. Yo, it's a joke.
But also because the Lakers' job isn't a good job.
No.
Like number one, LeBron's at the stage where it's like, bro, how you gonna coach LeBron? Like
you can't.
Like maybe Popovich. But like Who
Pop don't want that shit.
Me,
Not
he
too old.
don't. But I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just saying off basketball IQ.
Mhm.
Maybe Popovich, but how you gonna coach LeBron? Also, it's all this hype around a 7 seed. You're not gonna be higher than the 6 seed. So you're just gonna get fired in a couple of years anyway.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yo,
something you had to say?
Quickly, like for me, what blows my mind, and like obviously I watch multiple sports, right? It blows my mind how many incompetent people make so many big decisions.
Oh my god,
that really, really blows my mind. Like my favorite soccer team, right? Like we were the most dominant team in the world, Maine at it, right? And then all of a sudden we got the Tampa Bay Bucks owners, and I'm 19 and I saw something when we saw Cristiano Ronaldo. I was like, oh, we gonna be bad. Like I was 19, I was like, oh, we gonna be terrible. So when our coach retired in 2013, I was like, oh, this is gonna happen. So like last 10 years, we've been terrible, spending $1 billion plus on just terrible players. I'm just like, how do you sit there, right, and not feel any shame? But then again, you rich, so nobody gives a shit. You know,
I think the toughest pill for a sports fan to follow is realize that 95% of owners don't give a shit about winning. Like you have your few Mark Cubans, you know, you get your few Magic Johnson with the Dodgers. Like them niggas don't care. Oh yeah, Ohtani 700 million, they don't care. Like,
or they might care, but they might suck. Like the Suns owner, he cares. He just sucks.
My point, Steve Cohen for the Mets, he cares. That nigga just don't. He just sucks. So, but we're going to take a little break, a little 16-second break, and then we'll be back. We're going to bring Courtney in. We're going to talk about why I think there's actually a good show within the bad casting of Clip. And then we're going to talk about some football. We'll be right back.
Triple-double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not going to hold you. Money on the...
And we take this time to bring Courtney Collabro in. Courtney, how you feeling?
You know, the vibe outside of American Airlines Center right now is immaculate.
It's immaculate? Well, them niggas must be drunk.
Like people, it is. People have been in the streets all, like I've just been seeing them since probably about 2 o'clock. Well, actually since like 10 o'clock this morning, because they had that hat drop, the upside down Dallas hats. And then niggas were lined up around the corner.
So you went to the game. You went to game 3, correct?
I did not go to the game. I just watched.
You just watched. So
hell no, I just watched the game.
What was it like after they lost? You said it's to let you right now, which means they probably just like, oh, it's a weekend, Father's Day weekend. We gonna
I am legitimately terrified for my friends that are bartenders and like say a prayer for all of your service industry folk based in the Dallas area. Because I was out on Wednesday, which I'm like weekday. Okay, how bad can it get? Wrong. That shit was crazy. Listen, I went to Arizona State, so I'm all too familiar with the win or lose, we booze mentality. But yeah, they were lit. So today being a Friday, I have no doubt that it's going to go up. Ticket prices actually weren't that bad either. Before they even came back for game 3, ticket prices, cheapest thing you could get was probably about $1,200. Now you could get in there for about $500 or $600. So
we got the one and only. Not bad. We've got the one and only Courtney Collabro join us. You can follow her on all social media platforms at 1-800-COLLABRO. The new episode of The Hot Corner is available right now on all Barbershop Network feeds. Before we get into the football, and I want to talk about Clipped in a minute, since Dante is sick and Mikey is on most unlimited PTO of anybody on this fucking program. Tell us what they can expect. Not expect. What's on today's episode for everybody who wants to check in with the Hot Corner Pod.
So yesterday we did a little breakdown of the Athletic that put out a poll. They surveyed about 100 different baseball players from throughout Major League Baseball. About who they think is the most overrated, the most unlikable guy. What guy do you want on the team for just strictly vibes alone? We unpacked that and then also went about and talked about which organization players thought had the best and the worst reputation. Breaking news, White Sox, you guys aren't exactly loved. And whether or not, looking forward, would you like to have Gunnar Henderson or Bobby Witt Jr. on your team? So we kind of broke their numbers down a little bit. Definitely tap in with us, guys. Next episode, we're probably going to get into building the perfect MLB All-Star ballot. We are right about the All-Star break. So, yeah, we got that coming forward.
Peep that. Get all your high level baseball talk on there. It's all on all our streams right now. But I want to talk about the TV show clip. We talked about this last week. Where we shitted on the entire casting process of it, which was, I'll say the Doc Rivers casting wasn't bad. Ed O'Neill he's actually the best one on here. My man Al Bundy is killing it as Donald Sterling. Like, he is great as it. Shorty, what's her name? Cleopatra Coleman. I think she's a pretty decent Viviana Stivi, whatever her name was. We're gonna call her V. That's
Vivian Stiviano.
Yeah, Vivian Stiviano, which I forgot how much of a nutcase she was, but you're seeing more on this show. She's talking like Michael Jackson and things like that. But as I was watching episode 3, I was like, this show might be fake decent. Now, for those of you who are not from Chicago, I'm gonna break down what fake decent means. It's not bad, but it's not good, but it's kind of good. That's basically what fake decent is. Pat, I give the appropriate breakdown for what fake decent means.
It's like, it's all right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't know, Domino's pizza. You fuck with it.
If there's nothing else around,
fuck with it.
You will eat it. Like,
and it's not terrible, but it's not like great pizza. Like, you're not like, oh my God, I have Domino's. You're like, oh yeah, I ordered some Domino's, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of like Wingstop too. Like, Wingstop isn't like, you know, the hood chicken spot.
Hold on, but Wingstop?
For a franchise, yeah, right? Exactly.
I know you can find some better chicken in Dallas, Texas.
100%. I'm just saying, but like Wingstop,
it's good for a franchise.
It's not bad, but it's like, it's solid. But it's like, if somebody tell you they got Wingstop, you're not running home. You're like, oh, okay, they got Wingstop.
Unless you Rick Ross.
Unless you Rick Ross, yeah. Rick Ross. Now, if somebody say
like that,
if somebody said we got Wingstop, you like, all right, that's cool. Somebody, the only franchise with somebody, we got some Popeyes. You might pull up a nigga house. You say you got some Popeyes. That's different as far as like franchise chicken. With this, I was watching. I was like, yo, this episode was really good.
It is on FX. It's not like it's on like Tubby or something. You know, like it's on.
But the casting threw me off because even
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Go ahead.
I'm never gonna know if it's good or not. The cast.
No, we know, Pat. We know that.
No.
And that's the thing that's for me, that keeps me from breaking through with the program is just how bad the casting is.
It's so horrible. Like DeAndre Jordan, right? That's Blake Griffin looks like, I don't even want to say anything bad because we're live, but like Blake Griffin looks.
He's like the Degrassi era Drake.
Steph Curry was Mexican. That's not Steph Curry, bro.
No,
that's Omar Goodman.
You can't tell me that in Los Angeles and even your FX, you have the ability to pull talent from all over the country.
That's what I'm saying.
Even the world, and like this is. I mean, did you blow the whole budget on Ed O'Neill?
But on top, that might have been that. That's actually
that's my only thinking.
Because if you look at other FX shows when it was based on real things, the casting for the OJ show. The OJ casting was chef's kiss. It was perfect. The one for go ahead.
One of the crazy things about that whole casting is when I looked at what's his name? I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Oh, it's gonna piss me off. Yeah, the dude who played Matt Barnes, the dude from Insecure.
Oh, Dro from Insecure.
Yeah. And that's true.
That's 100% losing time. Yeah. You had Dro playing Matt Barnes. They took whatever fat nigga they could find on set and was like, you gonna play Big Baby. So you take that, but like that's what shocked me because they did with the crime series, they had the OJ series, then they did one on President Clinton get impeached. They had a good cast in that. They got Edie Falco to play Hillary Clinton. I'm like, damn, we got Carmelo Soprano up here. Like they did good casting for that. So I'm with you, Courtney. Maybe they blew the entire budget.
I'm like, Ed O'Neill, giving Ed O'Neill whatever he wanted, and then they're like, yeah, make it work with everybody else. That's crazy.
Yeah. But the actual episode I thought was good because you actually see just like how and this is something you talked about, Courtney, last week when we talked about taking away the actual jokes of how the cast looked about what actually happened. It just shows you just how out of touch Donald Sterling was. Like you got all this stuff going on. This nigga's like, yo, I'm still going on my birthday. They're like, fuck's wrong with y'all? Like,
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, let the like it was just some minuscule, like insignificant little issue, and his wife is trying to guide him, and he's just, it's not a big deal, just absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Speaking of insanity, I forgot how insane like V Stiviano was. Like I legit forgot. Like yo,
she was nuts.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, no, you said she's talking like Michael Jackson. Listen, I cringe, like I physically recoil when she says they say the little silly rabbit shit. Oh,
That's the Von
it
Curry.
sends chills down my spine.
You said that means silly rabbit. I'm like, yo, what?
Oh.
Like,
No,
that
when she
shit-
went outside with
With
the
the glass-
with the blind joint, and I had looked that up. Like, she actually do that? Yes.
Yes, remember
It
when
was
I
nuts.
was in high school and I remember seeing that shit just like on the internet and on social media of this chick like roller skating with this fucking sun shield on her face. And I'm
Oh,
like,
she
wait,
actually she did do that shit. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did all of that.
I think one of the wildest things about it is where is she today? Like
I
I
don't
look
know.
for her Instagram, like yo, she's like person non grata. Like nobody knows
She
where
has
she is.
an Instagram, but her last post was like 7 years ago. And what's crazy, this how I knew she was a nut. Like a year after Donald Sterling got kicked out of the league, whatever, she posted a picture of them and said, "Best friends, never forget." I'm like, you're something wrong with you.
listen, she was ahead of her time. She would have blown the fuck up on TikTok.
Oh, now?
Okay?
Oh, easily.
Blown up on TikTok. Endorsement deals. Drink Poppy. She would have done numbers.
Yeah,
You know
and
who she low-key looks like? The girl they
Who?
cast her with? The girl that always makes stuff from scratch.
Oh, I was craving a taco.
Yes, that's who she looks like. That's the person they cast look like her.
Flour tortillas from scratch.
No.
Oh, God, what's her? Nara Smith.
Yeah,
Yo,
they look
she lives
like
in
that.
Dallas, actually.
The Chris Paul scene had me in tears when the nigga, like I said, they had Dante playing Chris Paul. Like when Chris Paul's up there, I know y'all wanna a boycott, but I need my ring. I need my ring. He was almost in tears. I was like, this is hilarious, nigga. I need my ring. That was the funniest part of the whole thing. But I think I'm gonna be tuned in for the rest of the show. I'm gonna be tuned in.
I'm locked in. I've committed.
I'm committed. I'm past the crappy casting. I'm with it full on. And to close this out, and we're gonna get into football now. To find out that Lawrence Fishburne didn't know who Doc Rivers is was hilarious. He was on Dan Patrick this week, and Dan Patrick asked him, like, Lawrence, what was your first thought when you got the job to be Doc Rivers? He said, my first thought was, who the hell is Doc Rivers? He said, I don't watch sports. I have no knowledge of who he was. And then he said,
Lawrence Fishburne do with his free time?
That's what I want to know. Like, you would think Lawrence Fishburne's a nigga that watch sports. Go ahead. This is the perfect show to do it. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna make the joke. It's gonna have something to do with his daughter.
Oh yeah, you're wild.
I forgot about that whole entire thing too. That was a wild
I have no
time.
idea what you're talking about. So now I feel like
You don't know? Just Google Lawrence Fishburne daughter.
Okay.
This is a Summer Sessions joke.
Yeah,
But-
we gotta see a live reaction now.
Yeah, we're gonna you Google it and we're gonna see what your reaction is to that. But he said that they had mutual friends. They had mutual friends with Doc Rivers, and he invited Doc Rivers to his Memorial Day party. And he said Doc Rivers and some other nigga was like arguing about Bill Russell.
Courtney's face. Her face flip. Her face flip.
I'm reading and it just kept going.
Her face flip. Her face flip.
Yeah, that really happened. That really
Yeah,
happened.
in
It was a thing.
real life. Yeah.
It was a thing.
Oh.
In real life, that's exactly what happened.
It was a thing.
Yo, the wildest thing is so much shit that's happened on the internet before, and like we just remember it. And it's like, oh, we actually lived that. Like that was
Wait,
not a
Lawrence
normal thing.
Fishburne has a daughter with Gina Torres?
Yeah, he was with
Yeah.
Gina Torres for a long time.
Oh, listen,
Yeah, he was asleep. Yeah,
They were
he was
married
with
for
Gina.
6
Yeah, he was
16
with Gina
years.
Torres. Yeah, when she was on Suits, looking decent. Like you know what I'm saying? Like she was always like she was like, oh, she looked good. And the only thing when I saw her on I Think I Love My Wife, when I saw her on Think I Love My Wife when Kerry Washington was on, I'm like, it's an easy decision right here, Chris. Like, what do we? I know you're trying to break up a happy home, but nigga, I'd have folded. But anyway, that's besides the point. I think it's gonna be a hilarious show, man. I'm gonna continue to watch the rest of it. But let's go to something I love doing, and that is slandering Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not my problem anymore. He's a Jets problem. That's exactly what he is. As we just had mandatory minicamp across the NFL, keyword being mandatory. I was at the Bears one last week. A couple others just had theirs this week. The Jets had theirs this week. And where was Mr. Aaron Rodgers in mandatory minicamp? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found, to the point where it is not an excused absence. Robert Salah went up there and looked like he saw a ghost when he realized this nigga wasn't coming there. And there really hasn't been any explanation about where he's at. Was Albert Breer was on Rich Eisen this week, and he said that this is something that the team didn't find out till last minute, and that, you know, it's not excused, but they can't excuse it because if he's able to do this, the rest of the team's gonna be like, how are they able to do this? Now, I'm just glad the rest of the world sees what I've been saying forever. In the words of Michael Irvin said, everybody's seeing what I've been seeing for the last couple of years. The nigga's selfish. The nigga is not a good person. Like, if your own mother, your whole entire family doesn't like you, that should say something. You go up here this past February and talk about all the distractions with Zach Wilson and things of that nature and say, we need to just get back focused to football. And then you don't even show up to mandatory camp. That's a distraction to the football. If I'm a member of that roster, I'd be upset, especially when you missed the entire season last year. And now we're supposed to hope that your 40-year-old ACL or the Achilles holds up. And by the way, the NFL's tweaking. They gave them niggas 8 primetime games. Y'all really expecting him to stay healthy the entire year, which is crazy. I don't even know the Jets back up right now. And that nigga might be on Sunday Night Football multiple times this year. But you're just really seeing just the selfishness that comes with this. And I understand why this is being a big deal. And if you're the Jets, if this doesn't work out for you, and now you see why Green Bay wanted to get rid of him years from now, where do you go from here? I'm gonna go to Courtney because you said you wanted to get some stuff off about the Jets. What you think about everything going on with Aaron Rodgers, and do you think him missing mandatory camp is a big deal?
Yeah. Well, first off, to answer your question, their backup quarterback is Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Tyrod.
Yeah. And then their third stringer is Jordan Travis, the guy who also is running on like a fraction of a fucking leg because he got hurt last year, and that's why they infamously did not allow Florida State into the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to be very competitive because I think you can't even play. But yeah, so listen, it's June, so there's not a lot for us to talk about. But I do think it's funny how the main guy that was saying that he wanted to flush the bullshit and eliminate distractions is the distraction, right? And like you said, like Robert Saleh just looks so like demoralized, which is crazy because like it's fucking June. Like the season hasn't even started, and it's like he just looks so tired of having to constantly go up there and talk about this guy. Which I almost feel like a little bad. Like the Jets are like that. We all know that one girl in college that like had so much life and like, you know, vibrance. And then she started dating like a really shitty guy. And then he like took her away from all her friends and like took her Nissan Altima and like drop her off and, you know, pick her back up. Like, you know, no, baby, I know that's your brown sugar vanilla Bath and Body Works that you.
That sounds like every
like
nigga in college.
Like the shit out of her. Like I feel bad because she feels like she doesn't have anywhere else. That's the fucking Jets with Aaron Rodgers.
So
like
she's
essentially holding them hostage.
Dating Jody. That's what she's dating.
Yes.
Yes. Jody
is Aaron Rodgers. I almost feel bad. Like I almost really feel bad.
I feel bad for Jets fans too, because Jets fans be real hopeful too, and there's a hopeful Bears fan.
That shitty guy.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for them.
I don't feel bad either.
You knew what you wanted.
What did Freddie Gibbs say again? You knew the job was crooked before you took it. So
no, I don't know. Listen, I mean, listen, the game is the game, but it's also a testament to just like the lack of I guess, potential quarterback talent out there. If you're willing to like fucking live and die for this man who, yeah, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic quarterback, but he also has not won a championship since I was like a fucking sophomore in high school. I'm almost 30. So like, you know, just throwing that out there. Your allegiance to, to this man is kind of wild.
I mean, you said it. Robert Saleh's facial expression said everything.
Said everything.
Looked like they had a gun to his back at the press.
Like they're like honestly, like they're 3-12 on the season.
He looked more cheerful when Aaron tore his Achilles in week 1 than he did at camp the other day. I'm gonna go to Pavy first. Pat, do you think it's a big deal, or am I just being an Aaron Rodgers hater?
Nah, I mean, if it's mandatory camp, it's mandatory camp, and it's not like you somebody who didn't like ingratiate yourself to this organization for years. Like it ain't like it's Green Bay. Like you ain't got that kind of equity, I would think, within this organization. Like if it's mandatory camp, you should come to mandatory camp, bro. Like what else you doing? You probably on the internet reading conspiracy theories, bro. Like come to camp, bro. So yes, it's a big deal. If it's mandatory camp, mandatory means I don't have the complete Webster definition in front of me, but mandatory is some shit you supposed to do. So if you supposed to do it, you supposed to do it. And if you don't do it, then he right. You got to be punished in some level of way because again, you haven't ingratiated yourself. I know you Aaron Rodgers and you know Hall of Famer, all that, but you ain't been a Hall of Famer in this jersey. All you did was run on the court and run on the field and tear your Achilles 2 plays into the season. So you ain't got that kind of equity with this organization, and you do have to be punished because it just sends a bad message to everybody else, like you bigger than the team, and I don't think you've done enough in this jersey. You haven't done enough. No, some people are, but people are. But you haven't done enough in this jersey to act that way.
Honestly, like you said, Pat, if he was in Green Bay, I don't think we would be talking about
whatever.
This. Like you've been there 20 years, whatever. By the way, side note, before we get to Tosin, if you want to see Paul George on TV during June, you better go to your TV right now. It's the only time you're gonna see it.
By the way, he was horrible.
That's crazy.
By the way, he was terrible pregame and like a halftime. He was not good.
That nigga, Stephen A. told him, if anybody knows what it feels like to not play with a star, it's this man right here.
Broadcasting is not for everybody. That's all we can say about that.
Yeah.
But as far as Aaron Rodgers, man, listen, I personally can't relate. I got a top 3 quarterback in the league, actually top 2.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Lamar. Because he did show up to minicamp. So that sucks. But Aaron Rodgers is just a weirdo. I think he was one of my favorite quarterbacks ever. And then as I started to realize, this is not a good person. If your mom, like you said, if your mom doesn't like you, if your dad doesn't like you, if
your brother don't like you,
something's wrong. Because clearly you're the issue. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers is bad vibes. And the Jets, again, you guys knew what you were getting into. Even at Green Bay, he started showing he's not a trustworthy guy. So you ended up making, getting into his relationship with this guy, and now he's showing you exactly who he is, and that's tough. You got to deal with that. So if worse comes to worse, you got Tyrod Taylor, and he's a Super Bowl champion too. So yeah, I mean that's tough. I mean
that's crazy.
Your quarterback is supposed to show up, right?
Super Bowl champion Tyrod Taylor.
What did he run? Who did he win a ring with?
With my team, with the Ravens.
He did. He was Flacco's backup.
Yeah.
Well, that man Tyrod Taylor, keep a check, boy.
He does. He does. Bro. I love the fact that him and Jacoby Brissett, just black dudes stay with a job, always stay with a job. Bro. So shout out to them being quarterbacks at that. But yeah, Aaron is just if I'm gonna go back to my British accent, he's a waste man. That's really all he is. So man's a waste man, isn't it? So that's what he is. So
when he comes back at camp, he gonna be arrogant for him. Like this do. He probably like you said, Pat. He probably in a basement right now looking up 9/11 conspiracy theories.
Boy, he is on the war. He is on the Warographics YouTube channel right now, googling shit about XYZ conflict. He ain't doing nothing, bro.
That man,
Alex
right?
Jones shouldn't have to pay Sandy Hook survivors. That's what he's talking about.
He's probably with Jordan Peterson somewhere doing something stupid.
That's when I kind of knew he was gonna get hurt. When this nigga came out with a flag on 9/11, when he don't even think 9/11 happened. That I was like, yeah, something's about to happen here. Like that's just kind of when I knew something was going on. Like I have been watching this for the longest time. I even peeped something when I was rewatching Hard Knocks. I was rewatching Hard Knocks, kind of look at what can I expect media wise with this. And I was like, I remember Randall Cobb yelling at Garrett Wilson was like, well, if you mess up, he ain't gonna throw it to you. He don't like throwing interceptions. I was like, oh, I know he don't, because I just seen that merchant throw out of bounds just to prevent from throwing a pick more times than I can count. So that's just go ahead.
You remember on the Hard Knocks thing when he was talking about the moon and he was talking about the moon and shit? That's what I was like, okay, yeah, he's a weirdo. He was talking about this in 05. I was like, oh, you're a weird dude. You've always been weird. I just didn't pay attention, but you're weird as shit.
He comes on Pat McAfee every Tuesday and they be letting Pat get away with murder. Have y'all noticed?
I stopped watching it, honestly.
Yo,
I don't know. It was already kind of starting to kind of weighing on me a little bit. But after he made that comment about Caitlin Clark, I'm like, man, I can't.
Yeah,
I
like
can't sit
he
up here
gets a
indulging this fucking jabroni.
yeah, Courtney. Like I was like when I heard him say that, I was like, yo, like if anybody else said that, like they would have been fine. We
Imagine if Stephen A. Smith said
for sure, he'd be cooked.
Yeah, I mean, Pat, like, do we just randomly forget he said? I feel like everyone heard it and then was like, oh, it's just Pat. And it was like, yo, it's
because it's.
Or even if like I don't even want to bring that element of saying if Stephen A. Smith said it, that he's the most public face on ESPN.
He's still a nigga though. They would make him apologize.
Like fucking, Kirk Herbstreit said some shit like that.
Kirk Herbstreit saying that.
Or what the fuck? Ryan Rodgers.
Kirk Herbstreit saying that's crazy.
He said that about Caitlin Clark.
Kirk Herbstreit. No, let's stick with Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk Herbstreit saying that's insane, bro. What scenario did Kirk Herbstreit
I'm just thinking of like the most famous white male faces at ESPN.
Kirk Herbstreit is a clean face though. When you think Kirk Herbstreit,
Kirk Herbstreit is crazy, bro. Kirk Herbstreit is crazy, bro. Kirk Herbstreit is crazy.
And then like Pat, have y'all peeped? Like, of course, Woj is the ESPN guy, but because Woj don't really like Pat, this nigga be having Shams on all the time. Like Shams be on ESPN only on McAfee show every week. Like I'll be like, nobody calls this out. He gets away with murder every week on that show. Like every week, bro. Like I'm just like, come on, dog.
Now I'm trying to think about who's the most random person ESPN to say. I'm gonna think of somebody.
Again, I wasn't trying to do like a mythical poll.
No, it's just funny because
famous white men from ESPN.
Thinking about Kirk Herbstreit talking about Caitlin Clark is hilarious,
bro. First of all, him talking about Caitlin Clark is just out of bounds.
Well, again, it wouldn't happen.
Him saying white bitch is insane.
If Ryan Ruocco did it, it would be the same. He would get fired. Every other person that isn't Pat McAfee.
Imagine Greeny. Imagine Greeny saying that
it's just the space that
in the morning.
It's like just the space that Pat McAfee puts himself in. Also, it's his time slot. Like it's not like a prime time slot. He come on like what 2 p.m.
No, that nigga comes on at 9 a.m. in the morning. That nigga, he's right
it's
after
9 a.m.
It's from 11 to 1 here.
Yeah, so 11 to 1. So it's right after first take.
Yeah, it's not like a super prime. Like it's kind of like after the morning. It's not like a super prime slot, and also it's like the era that he puts himself in, that he's put himself in. He can kind of get away with that because he was never clean cut in the first place. Like his whole show is kind of like edgy and like I think if you're usually used to the normal, very bro. Like if you're used to the normal ESPN content, you probably don't. Like I'll never watch Pat McAfee show. It's not for me.
I'm not gonna.
You know what's wild about Pat McAfee, right? I thought about it. I was like, yo, why does he look so old? I realized he's only 3 years older than me. I was like, damn, like
that nigga was an alcoholic.
Yeah,
I mean,
pardon me. Sorry,
Courtney. I went to college 15 minutes away from West Virginia, right? And when I realized the way he went to school, I was like, yeah, it makes sense that he smokes weed every day.
No,
and like,
wait, you went to college in West Virginia?
No, near West Virginia for a year. I went to school called Frostburg, Maryland. There ain't shit out there but a Walmart. Swear to God, ain't nothing but a Walmart out there.
That's what Bodie ran to when he tried to escape juvie. That's what that nigga went to.
Nah, but he went to PG County.
That's exactly what they were. If you in an area where all you got is like a Walmart, nigga, like that's how you know you like in college areas.
Yeah,
100%. But let's go on to another quarterback. This one just got paid, Mr. Trevor Lawrence, or as I like to call him, Trick Off Trev. Shout out to Bang for that nickname. He got ridiculously paid. Now I just want to say this about these contracts. It's not based on the player, it's based on the market, and it's going to go higher and higher each time. So Trevor Lawrence signed a 5-year, $275 million extension with the Jaguars, including 200 of it guaranteed, which is the only number that matters here. And he gets $142 million fully guaranteed at signing. He released his press release. I am beyond grateful to be able to continue my career in Jacksonville. My family and I love the city. It has become home to us and solidifies even more. Blah, 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 blah. The drive to bring a championship to Duval is better. Let's get it done. Okay, I'm just going to say this about Trick Off Trev. Now, he is one of the few people, one only quarterback from his 2021 class to actually be in somewhat of a good standing. I don't even know what team Zach Wilson's on right now, but I know they let go of him in New York. We've got who else? Got Mac Jones is actually Trevor Lawrence's backup. and Justin Fields, is Russell Wilson's backup in Pittsburgh. That whole class really is looking real bust-like. So he's the only one that he gets this contract. And this is the crazy thing, well, not really not crazy thing, but kind of messed up thing for the NFL, if you're a fan, is if you have an even half decent quarterback, you got to pay him, because the alternative is not a good one. There's just not a lot of good quarterbacks. There's even very shorter list of elite quarterbacks. So the number, we can sit up here and talk about the number, whatever. He had the leverage. If you're Jacksonville, you're not going to let him walk and make Mac Jones your full-time starter. So you had to pay him. But this is a crazy amount for a nigga that's only won one playoff game. I honestly shouldn't even won that. He had one of the worst first halves I ever seen. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, was just terrible. But if you're Dak Prescott, you're doing the Birdman hand rub. That Tua contract is going to be some of the nastiest stuff we've seen in league history. He might get $60 million a year. Tua can't throw a deep pass worth for nothing. Is going to get $60 million. And it's just insane to me. I'm going to go to Tosin first. What do you think about this contract and what it kind of says for the future of other quarterbacks getting paid? I mean, the Lamar contract looked big at the time. Now it's looking like y'all got him for a bargain.
Absolutely did. And I'm grateful to God we did. I mean, listen, the market determines itself. I think like there's not even that many good quarterbacks in the league when they keep it a buck. I think we should start there. And it is a league where, like, if you have a decent quarterback, you got to keep him because you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, Zach Wilson's in Denver and he's struggling to beat Bo Nix. So it's a terrible market. There's not that many good quarterbacks. So if you had a decent one, at least keep them. But yeah, I mean, Miami's got to pay Tua. And, you know, as somebody who's seen Tua up close and personal with the Ravens, God bless and Godspeed. So, you know, it's a terrible market if you don't got a good quarterback. So if you're a Bears fan, you know, you better be grateful you got someone that, you know, very promising. So it's not a good market.
We'll be thankful for now. And in 3 years, he asked for $375 million. Pat, what you think about this deal, man?
I mean, I'm happy you said this because I've said many times, I think we are in the worst era of quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. It's about 3 good ones. I think it's really only one elite quarterback, but that's just me and my whole standing. His deal, I mean, he's scamming, but he's on the way to probably being the best quarterback in Jaguars history. That's not saying too much, but for the Jaguars, it is saying
the mighty David Garrard
and Mark Brunell, like
Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, like he's on the route to being that. Hopefully he can still get better and, like, you know, turn down his turnovers. I think he had how many picks last year?
Yeah, like 15, 16.
15, like
more than that.
Yeah, like hopefully he can, like, you know, turn it down. He wasn't terrible. Hopefully he can still improve and get better. But I mean, yeah, definitely has he played like that deal? No, but you're right. The market dictates what you get, and the market says that he should get that money. So he's getting that money. And again, if you're Jacksonville, you have no choice, bro. Like,
I'm
you
all
can't
for people scamming from billionaires. Like,
for sure.
I'm all for it. Hey,
For sure.
listen, if you can get paid $200 million guaranteed
Get
with
paid.
Daniel Jones numbers, good for you.
He has one really good year. His
Actually,
rookie
I think
year,
Daniel Jones has better numbers, but
his rookie year, he had 3,641 yards.
That was a horrible. That was the Urban
Yeah,
Meyer.
I know he was Urban Meyer, 12 touchdowns, 17.
count
Yeah, nigga, I could have coached better Urban Meyer that year.
We can't count
In 2022, he had 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Last year, he threw 4,000 yards with only 21 touchdowns, 14 picks.
Now, granted, he did get hurt. I think he had the high ankle sprain, if I'm not
got
mistaken,
hurt
at some point. So again, you hope that he can go back to the season that he had before this one.
Well, Orlando's right. He's led the league in turnovers since he's been in the league. So, but you know, Courtney, what you think about this?
yeah, no, that's the market, right? Like, Dak is gonna get paid, Tua's gonna get paid, and if the Cowboys have any sense, they probably should have paid Dak earlier.
Hey, man. Dak got them by the balls right now because he can actually be a legitimate free agent.
The happiest person in him. He more than Tua, but they both got to be absolutely elated. And I'm almost certain, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's a Super Bowl in between the top 8 or 9 earners in the NFL. So, you know, good for people, you know, getting a check from billionaires without necessarily having done anything yet to deserve it. Good for them.
I mean, yeah, Orlando. Dak is going to be.
By the way, Trevor Lawrence. 39 picks through 50 games.
39 picks through 50 games. Dak is like, really, the Cowboys got a whole situation in general because you got 3 dudes who are looking for checks. This is the point where there's going to be a camera when report day happens in about 4 or 5 weeks between Dak, CD, and Micah. Who's going to show up to camp? Like, who's going to hold out? That's what I'm interested to see. I think for sure, I think Dak could be there because Dak, like, look, nigga, if y'all don't give me what I want, I'm gonna hit the open market next year and I'm gonna get everything I want because, like we just said, the quarterback market is so bad that Dak is gonna get a contract that's gonna make that Kirk Cousins deal look, oh, it was nothing. And when we talk about Trevor Lawrence, this is nothing, you know. But if you're Miami, I know Miami's mad because I believe, like you kind of said, Tosin, I believe Miami know that Tua ain't that nice. They're screwed. Like they don't. That's why they haven't paid them now. That's why Tua's been up these press conferences looking pissed. They don't really trust in that nigga like that.
Would you?
Hell no.
Yeah, I mean, like it's unfortunate because he hasn't been able to stay healthy, right? Like, but now you have a season to prove that you deserve the money that you want, right? You got a golden opportunity. They said he was looking nice, so go earn your money, boy.
We will see. Speaking we said that's what Alex put in. Let Dak walk like the Vikings did Kirk, pay CD and Micah, and draft the QB. I mean, that's honestly probably what I would do.
Have you seen the quarterback classes coming up?
Yeah, it's not looking good, but you got to ask yourself, do you think Dak is worth it? Like to get you a championship? Because Dak has had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Like he's been there 8 years. He picked off, he replaced Tony Romo, and Tony Romo's been in a booth for so long that you almost forget he played. Like where the actual image of Tony Romo has changed from him not being a choke artist in the playoffs. Like I used to love watching Tony Romo because we knew that game was going in the pick. When him and Eli used to have the idiot offs, these always niggas on Sunday Night Football to kick the L. Like it would never fail. Romo, Eli, who's gonna trick it off more? So Dak's been around that long. And if you're Jerry, you know, you gotta do. I personally would do what Alex just said. I would pay CD, pay Micah, and I'd find a way to draft a quarterback. I wouldn't pay him what he's going to be asking for because we see what kind of quarterback he is. And it's the Cowboys. You're going to fill up Jerry World any damn way. Like
there's just so many bad quarterbacks, man. It's not.
And that's why I said
the worst era quarterback I've ever seen.
That's because they have to deal with it.
Yeah. And that's why Aaron Rodgers does it because he knows he can get away with it. Speaking of the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins, the Atlanta Falcons were not accused, but they did tamper when it comes to signing Kirk Cousins and signing former Bear Darnell Mooney. The Philadelphia Eagles were also accused of tampering when they went to go get Saquon Barkley. They did not get found guilty, but the Falcons did. And let me tell you this incredible punishment they got. These niggas were tampering with free agents, cost them a 2025 fifth-round draft pick and $250,000. Additionally, Falcons general manager left his wallet open with a $50,000 fine. Look, man, all this tells me is the tampering's cool.
I'd pay that shit in pennies.
Yeah.
Rows of pennies, because what are we doing?
That's all that tells me, that teams will continue to tamper. We saw this in the NBA. Who was the last team that got like was tampering? They didn't
the Heat.
I think it was Miami. Yeah, with the Lowry
Bulls
thing.
almost got caught up with the Alonzo
Bulls
thing.
almost got caught with the Lonzo thing. But it's not changing. I
think it's impossible. I think it's just impossible not to tamper these days. Like everybody knows everybody. Like all the players know everybody. I think it's kind of hard to realistically think that these people don't have like handshake deals under the table when they do things. I think it's just kind of, we're in an era where like it's kind of hard. I mean, obviously you don't want people basically signing, like basically, you know, damn near signing contracts, damn near why they playing for the other team. But I just think it's kind of hard these days to kind of prevent tampering. Like it's not 1985 no more, bro. Like you could DM an agent and then you're like, yeah, we gonna see about this, or an agent could DM somebody else. So I think it's just a hard thing these days to kind of prevent, like I said, with how interconnected the world is and the sports world is. So
Orlando, you bring up a good point. Gone to the days of middle-class QBs like Rivers, Ryan, Carson Palmer, Eli. And then also Kirk Cousins, Kirk Cousins and Dak are the only like middle-class QBs we got. Remember, Pat, we was talking about the NBA ain't got like role players, you remember no more? I don't know if you remember. Yeah, we talking about the NFL need the middle-class the B tier quarterbacks.
Rivers
All
wasn't a middle class quarterback.
Yeah, the fact that Justin Herbert is making $52 million this fucking season and is about to hand the ball off like 100 fucking times.
Oh, I'm glad. Courtney. I'm so glad you said that. They've been gassing
that Greg Roman, Jim Harbaugh offense. I don't understand.
That is what I lived. I lived that Greg Roman life. Okay, I lived that life, and that shit was ass. Okay, we ran the ball so many times. Like that.
Yeah, that's his whole MO.
And all they do now, the Chargers are basically Ravens 2.0. They just signed Terrence. They just signed what's it called? They signed what's it called? The safety we used to have. Tony Jefferson.
Tony Jefferson, yeah.
They got both of our old running backs, and it's like, yo, what are we doing here? But back to the quarterback thing, we don't have any like Joe Flacco's anymore. If we had Jay Cutler in this league right now, Jay Cutler would eat. Like, there's so many quarterbacks that like back in the day, we don't have them anymore, and like it's just either you're really good, which is like the Pat Mahomes, Lamar, and that's kind of it, and everybody else is just like mid or bad, so it's not good.
Yeah, because they've been gassing that Herbert camp all last couple weeks. I'm like, them niggas finna be handing the ball off, bro. Like that's exactly what that's gonna be. But Courtney, what you think about like the tampering thing? I mean, the NFL already does this legal tampering period. They really expect niggas
also,
to not
wasn't
do it?
To be clear, and to be fair, I hate the Falcons, but like in the interest of fairness, didn't it like technically occur during like the legal tampering period? And they're saying that it had something to do with like travel and logistics after they had already agreed to terms. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it was something like that, but I think they talked to him like the day before or something like that.
I don't even.
It's something real petty.
I don't even. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. And again, if you're gonna find these people you're not discouraging it from happening. So like, what are we even doing here? Like y'all need extra money that bad? Y'all need that money that bad? You need $250K? Okay, go off.
Yeah, Tosin, what you think about tampering?
It happens all the time in every sport. I mean, we've done this as kids. Like we all know somebody who got recruited in like middle school and high school. Like we all know this shit happens. It's just more so just shut up about it and don't get caught. That's really all it is. Like everybody does hush deals. This is what it is.
Yeah, I look at it as this, man. Like it's kind of like what you said, Pavy. Like we're at the point where everybody has relationships with people. Like there's different ways of communication through social media, through text, FaceTime, whatever. They can't monitor all that stuff. And so to me, it doesn't really matter. And if you look at these, this punishment, if I'm a franchise, I'm like, oh, nigga, it's worth it. I'm gonna keep doing it.
It's worth it every
time.
time.
I'm gonna do it.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
call your ass in week 8.
Right, exactly. We're gonna do it way earlier than that. Like to me, it doesn't matter at all. I know Pav gonna be somebody said Joe Burrow's in the league. Pav hates Joe Burrow.
I don't hate Joe Burrow. I would just like to see him not die every single year. If he could stay on the field multiple years and do what he does, no problem with me. But right now it's Mahomes and everybody else. I'm sorry.
This could be really interesting and get in the way of a potential three-peat for our boy Patty.
Cool.
Which is perfect segue, even though I had
welcome, boss man.
The
Scott,
segue. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was thinking about how many former Ravens players the Chargers started signing, and we were talking about hush deals. They got Gus Edwards, Hayden Hurst, Bradley Bozeman, Ben Mason, J.K. Dobbins, Tony Jefferson, and some of our coaches and one of our OGMs.
He getting all his brother players.
Literally, like he just called his brother and is like,
yeah.
Yo.
And that's back to the tampering thing. You know how many hush deals? Like I'm sure his brother's like, yo, we'll take these people. It's just, what can you do about that?
Well, I'm gonna make sure my brother gets you a nice deal over there. We're gonna make sure you're comfortable. You get to live in LA. You'll be fine. You're the Chargers. Niggas care about the Angels more than they care about the Chargers. You'll be fine. There's gonna be no pressure. You'll be good. But I do think the most pressure on anybody this year is Joe Burrow. It's 100% Joe Burrow. He has to stay healthy. When they're healthy, they are a great team. When they're healthy, they have been to the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. So that's what I want to see. I'm happy that they're going to be doing joint practice. The Bears going to be doing joint practice with the Bengals, since that's one of the preseason games. So I'll be able to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all them up front. And that's another story too. Is T. Higgins going to show up at camp? That's another thing. But speaking of Mahomes, thank you for the segue, Courtney. Last night the Kansas City Royals got their championship ring.
Royals, he's in baseball mode.
I said my bad. The Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, he's the Royals owner, and them niggas share that same shitty ass parking lot. But that almost tore my ACL in. But this is I got
I need that backstory. Yeah.
I got to put this on. Tosin got to answer this one. He said, "Can Lamar not be in the ass for the playoffs?" I'm gonna just let you take the wheel on that.
First of all, don't disrespect my quarterback. That's a 2-time MVP. Okay. Second of all, we'd be all right. I think that John Harbaugh just needs to get his head out of his ass and stop being dumb. Like, I don't know why we ran the ball last year like 3-4 times, and we run the ball like at least 20 times a game. So they'll be all right. They just need to just stop being dumb in the playoffs. Like, we do well in the regular season. All of a sudden, everyone decides like, oh, we forgot how to play football. So they're gonna be all right this year.
And y'all play them on ring night. Perfect time to get ring night is ultimate lacking night because niggas is still thinking about the last year. They having a good time. Rings is out.
It's crying.
Niggas is crying. They probably got nice dinner reservations after it. Like niggas ain't thinking about the game like at all.
At the ring ceremony, it's cool.
I'm talking about because the Ravens opened up in Kansas City. So I'm like, that's the best chance to get them. But last night the Chiefs got their rings and their ring ceremony. It was Patrick Mahomes' third ring. And Courtney actually pointed this out because he put the eye emoji on Twitter, and I thought that meant, oh, that's what this nigga got paid? Yeah, it's time to renegotiate. And Courtney's like, nah. You ain't
tapped in like me, Scott.
Courtney's like, nah, they getting their rings. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. So they got the rings, and he's like, we ain't done yet. He's putting Kendrick Lamar quotes on his IG. My question to y'all is, my brother actually put this question on his Twitter today. We know Tom Brady's the GOAT. And Boston fans are having a hell of a great sports weekend. Like the Celtics got a chance to clinch. The Red Sox took 2 out of 3 from the best team in the National League and the Phillies, and fucking Tom Brady got into the Hall of Fame, the Patriots Hall of Fame. It had Jay-Z bring him out. But as you see what's going on with Pat, obviously Brady's number one. I personally think I'm gonna ask y'all first. I'm gonna go to Pavy first. Do you think that as it is right now, Mahomes is number 2 overall? And what do you think a three-peat would do for his legacy? Because no team in NFL history has ever three-peated.
I mean, you just said no. If ain't nobody else done it, it do a lot for you. Because ain't nobody else done it. You would have 4 rings? How old is he? Is he even 30 yet?
Nah, he's like 27.
Like if they 6 seasons in the NFL now, right?
Yeah, he got drafted in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
he's 28. He's about to be 29.
Yeah, the man isn't even 30 yet. If they win this year, he'll have 4 rings. I mean, right now, if you want to put him 2, I don't hate it because 1, he's 1, and 2, I don't think you've seen a quarterback play. But I know you haven't seen a quarterback play the way Mahomes plays. Like now, there are like the Mahomes comparisons. Like, oh, is he the next Patrick Mahomes? It's also because his play style and like the way he plays. If you want to tell me he's the most talented quarterback to ever play, I'm not mad at you. Because he can do it all. He can run, he can pass in many different ways. Arm is great. But yeah, if they three-peat, you're gonna have people starting to call him the GOAT. Granted, he doesn't have all the accolades and stats that Brady has because Brady played so damn long. But if they three-peat, you're gonna have people start to call him the greatest quarterback that they've ever seen. And I'm also not mad at it. I wouldn't agree, but I'm not mad at it because the three-peat in football is insane. To win 1 in football is hard enough. To three-peat is insane.
To three-peat in sports, period, is we haven't seen a three-peat in sports in 22 years. Kobe and Shaq were the last team to do that. I think there's been a couple teams. Correct me if I'm wrong, Courtney. I know
this is if we're
Blues
just talking
had a chance to do it. Did the Blues have a chance?
Professional sports, then
the Blues had a chance to do it, right? In NHL,
wait, who?
The Blues have a chance to do it in NHL.
I know Tampa Bay Lightning just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was Tampa Bay, not the Blues. Yeah, Tampa Bay is
back to back. No, St. Louis last one in 2013 or 2015, I think, actually.
2015 is the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I mean, Man City won 4 in a row.
Blackhawks was 2010, 2013, 2015.
Yeah, Warriors had a chance to three-peat, obviously.
Warriors had a chance to three-peat, then KD died. The last baseball team was Derek Jeter's Yankees. They did 98, 99, and 2000. What were you saying, Tosin?
Man City won like 4 Premier League titles in a row, which is pissing me
damn.
off. Yeah. PSG, I think right now they got like 7 or 8, something like that in a row. Let me double check. No, it's just 3. No, 4 in a row. Yeah, 4 in a row. And then what's it called? Who else is up there?
And what year was that they did that?
What, Man City or PSG?
Yeah, well, one won 4 in a row.
This year. So it's like the last 4 years. Yeah. And then Bayern Munich recently, they after like God knows how long, they did like 10, 11 in a row in Germany. So some soccer teams are just disgusting when they do shit like that. So
yeah. Shout out to the Oklahoma women's softball team for holding it down.
Shout out to them.
4 straight natties.
I think that this would separate him as far as with I think the thing with Brady will always have over him is the fact he beat him in the Super Bowl and he beat him the two playoff losses that Pat had.
Brady have 7 rings too.
Yeah, I mean outside of that,
I mean that's a big factor. Like if Mahomes wins 8, then then he's got to be
But that's what I'm saying will separate him because even if Mahomes got 8. Brady like, I beat you twice though. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to get you twice. Got you in the AFC Championship game in 2018. Got you in the Super Bowl. And so this to me would be something that puts him on a whole nother level. In fact, the only team that got close was it the Cowboys? Like the Cowboys went to the NFC Championship game the year they could have three-peated. And then that was a whole thing that happened with what's the pass interference with Deion Sanders. Yeah, it was 94. They could have three-peated in 94. The Niners could have three-peated, but Joe Montana died against the Giants where they just completely took that nigga out. So there's been teams that's been close. The Patriots got to the divisional round in 2005. Then they lost to that Broncos. They lost to the Broncos. It wasn't the Chargers. They beat the Chargers. I think it was the Broncos they lost to. So there's been teams that got close, but if they can do this puts them in a whole another upper echelon. Tosin, what do you have him right now on the all-time scale, and what do you think a three-peat would do? How would it help?
I mean, it's easily top 5. I mean, he's one of the greatest football players I've ever seen in my life. A three-peat is just nasty. I mean, you win 3 in a row. It's going to piss me off as an AFC fan. But, I mean, it's incredible. You don't really win that many rings in the NFL. It's a hard league to do it in year out. The physical toll alone, not to talk about the mental toll. So to do it 3 years in a row, I mean, his receiver core is a lot better too. That's the scariest thing. He got a bunch of like 4-2, 4-3 wide receivers around him. So it's kind of scary to see that they could actually do it this year. And I don't like that.
He got another deep threat in Rancho Cucamonga Brown, as I like to call him, because he has to gain the Hollywood name back. But Courtney, just talk about Mahomes real quick, then we'll do this one last topic and get you about it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's got comparable numbers to Tom Brady through his first 6 seasons. I think the only real difference is like touchdown numbers, which again, different style of football when Tom Brady was starting out in his career. I mean, listen, you win 3 Super Bowls, 3 MVPs, have a 15-3 record in your first 6 seasons in the NFL. It does a lot for your legacy talk, right? And that three-peat, again, it puts you in rarefied air because no one else has ever done it. So for me, that would a three-peat would propel me like I think that was Alex that said that to 1B. You kind of got to leapfrog everybody else after that. No offense to all the other great quarterbacks that have played the game of football, but like that puts you 1B, whereas Tom Brady obviously is still 1A.
Definitely. One last topic, then we're gonna get Courtney about it here. We're gonna get Tosin about it here, and then me and Pat, we're gonna do the local hour with the homie Big Davis. We're going to realistically show y'all how we can somewhat try to save the Chicago Bulls, at least make them a competitive basketball team. Yeah, exactly. Good luck. My thing is this. This isn't a topic that's been going on. That's in the NFL. I know I put this on the rundown, and Courtney was like, "What does CJ Stroud do?"
I was like, "What he do?" I still don't know what he did. I said, "What he do?"
This nigga's all in the videos. Like, look, I know you had a good season last year.
Let my man cook.
No, I like CJ, but I gotta say this. He's been on every podcast. This nigga podcast. On Gillian Wallow last week, ranking quarterbacks, and I'm like, look, I like CJ. He's good. My brother would kill me if he hear me talking about CJ because he's a Buckeye fan. But my niggas have a whole winter of footage now. We're going to really, really see if you like that, if Jordan Love is like that, because now we've got other footage. The sophomore year with quarterbacks is very tough because I really don't feel like you know what you got in a quarterback. So maybe year 3, year 4 to see how you're gonna adjust to these different defenses coming at you. So me personally, maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm tweaking. That's fine.
You're tweaking.
I'm like, nigga, stop being on podcast. Let's nigga doing buddy cop films with Mike
hate athletes on podcasts while they're playing.
Scott, are you?
I have no.
You hate active athletes doing podcasts.
I have no problem. I have no problem being a hater. I'll tell you when I'm being a hater. I have no problem with athletes being on podcasts. I feel like they need to have podcasts. I have no problem with active. I like Paul George doing podcasts.
You do not listen to Paul George podcast.
I'm subscribed to Paul George podcast.
You at home playing podcast B.
I watch podcast B. I'm sorry. I watch podcast B. Right. That would sound funny because this funny podcast name. I watch podcast B. My only beef with athlete podcasts is why we always got to have some random white nigga on there be a host. Why can't we get a brother on there? Like that's one thing I'll give credit to my man Zaire Franklin who plays for the Colts. That's a full black podcast. Why we got a random white nigga on
reverse DEI?
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, I don't even know who these dudes are. Like Pat Bev got some white dude on his. So I have no problem with active players podcast. If I'm able to be up here and talk about them, and I played basketball one time. That's only because everybody who got on the list need to be on the team. It's not like I want to try out or something like that. But they can talk. I just feel like you put a little too much dip on his chip. Give it a little bit more, man. We're gonna see if you can do this again. But it's probably just me.
It is. I think it is just you. You're being a hater, Scott. Let the kids have fun. It's the off season. He's about to go have another monster season. He's got another fantastic addition to his offense in the form of Stephon Diggs. I feel like he's feeling good. And if his team and his team around him don't have a problem with it, then maybe we shouldn't either. Right? Kind of like what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, except Aaron Rodgers is not going to do what CJ Stroud.
And he's not a God-fearing man like CJ Stroud. I'm not going to put him with the same thing. So you think, am I tweaking? Am I the only one who's like, he might be doing a little bit too much?
Not really. I mean, that's just how he is, man. I like the fact that he does talk a lot. I like the fact he talks shit. You know, I like that. So talk your shit.
We're kind of missing that. There's so much of this like mentality amongst quarterbacks now that like, oh, you just have to like, you know, kind of be humble and like, you know, keep your head down.
Oh, I ain't say be humble.
You know, the fucking rhetoric that they'll tell you, you know, flush the bullshit, eliminate distractions, you know, even Patrick Mahomes, you know, given the whole, oh, you know, I'm going to appreciate this ring. And then you know, it's back to work tomorrow. Like,
I just want to see, I want to see more from my quarterback. Like Lamar don't do nothing. He just
Lamar.
Yeah, he's in Florida listening to Kodak. Yeah, he's in Florida just listening to Kodak Black all day. That's all he does.
That's problematic in and of itself. But
I turn a blind eye to that. I'm sorry. It's messed up.
The niggas from Florida. Let's just Pat. What you said about Florida? It's different niggas. They said MAGA Scott likes his black.
5 days for fuck nigga to try.
All right, Alex. Enough. Go ahead.
What's up?
No, you just say Pat. We didn't hear you.
Oh, I said in Florida it's 365 days for a fuck nigga to try. It's always hot outside. But CJ Stroud, I mean, yeah, he doing a lot, but so as Future said, you do what you want when you pop it. So if people want to hear him talk and he like talking, go ahead. You better throw some touchdowns next year. But
that's all I'm saying. Like,
but I mean, go ahead, bro. Like you don't have to be this. I think that we are used to our quarterbacks being one way. And you don't have to be that way, bro. Like again, like there's not one way to be great. Yeah, like there's not one way to be great.
Fucking Caleb Williams wearing a Chrome Hearts fit to the draft. Like times are changing.
I mean, that's fine, but if I see a podcast mic at training camp, I'm taking it off myself.
Caleb is gonna be.
Well, you got the HBO cameras up in there now. That is the podcast mic.
That don't count. I'm trying to get my own cameo. You might catch me by the vending machine on like episode 3.
I'm gonna be right there with my phone ready to add it to the Trends compilation for when he's up there trying to root his team to success and they're down like 0-4.
You know whose podcast that I love that like piss everybody off? I love the fact that Draymond has a podcast and it pisses everybody off. I don't know why that shit just makes
Draymond did his podcast at the finals. I love it.
I'm so grateful that I have not heard more than 2 minutes of that podcast. I can't imagine anything I actually would rather listen to less than Draymond Green.
I mean, the thing is,
I like Draymond's podcast.
I
He
don't.
lying
The thing is,
sometimes, but I fuck with it.
the thing with Draymond, I don't really listen to his pod. I just listen to the clips, right? I just think the thing about it is just like he pisses everybody off. And it's like, what can you do about him? He's a second round guy with a Hall of Fame career.
With 4 championships. And on the last podcast, the nigga had 2 of the rings on.
And the Olympic gold. He got
And the
Olympic
Olympic
gold
gold.
too.
There's
Which
nothing
He's
you
a
can do about
bona
it.
fide first ballot Hall of Famer.
I'm just gonna
Easily.
say this, and we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna bring Big David here. But LeBron James conducting a coaching search via podcast. Some of the funniest shit ever. This nigga just wanted to see if JJ Redick knew plays. And it was like, I want that nigga. That's what that
Plays
was.
that they ain't never gonna run.
Plays.
No,
They only gonna run ISO. They gonna
Plays
run
they
ISO
ain't
against
never
this.
gonna
They
run.
not finna run no flex action the entire season, bro.
nope.
Just drawing up shit that they never gonna get rid. He gonna break off every play for a damn ISO. AD, come in, set the screen, ISO.
But
All you gonna do.
we gonna get Courtney and Tosin up out of here, man. We know y'all gotta go. Courtney, let them know where they can follow you, and once again, what they can check out for on the Hot Corner podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 1-800-CALLA-BRO. Again, that is 1-800-CALLA-BRO. My name is Courtney Callabro. I feel like people get confused thinking it's 1800. It is not. It is 1-800-CALLA-BRO.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was too. He actually told me what
It
it
was
was.
1800.
Like, damn, like I thought it was right there. I'm like, it felt so obvious.
Chicago Public School. I'm sorry.
George Bush should have left some of those children.
What doctor? They thought it was tequila.
Yeah.
Now when I see that, first thing I think about is actually tequila.
But
no, so we're gonna be doing some MLB All-Star talk on the Hot Corner next week. So definitely stay tapped in for that. If you're looking for who to vote for, who deserves your vote for your All-Star ballots, we're gonna help you try to decipher that. Other than that, man, listen, we got some good hockey going on right now. Florida's taking a 3-0 lead in the series. We got Game 4 tomorrow in Edmonton. I'm so excited because I want to see a sweep. Okay, that would be glorious. And I would feel personally vindicated by seeing Connor McDavid go out sad.
Connor overrated.
Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. You did.
Didn't that one dude from the Florida Panthers? He went to high school with Jason.
Yeah, he
Tatum?
went to high school with Jason Tatum. Now both of them.
Yeah. They're locked in with each other.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I saw you repost the meme, Scott, and I'm just thinking about it. The idea of Jason Tatum recreating the Kobe.
Oh, I'm going to break everything in this house when I see that.
Gonna do it.
I know it's coming.
He's gonna do it.
I know it's coming.
He's gonna do it with Deuce too.
And Kobe's gonna roll in his grave because at the end of the day, he's still a Celtic. That's just not cool. But Tosin, man, know where they can follow you and everything they get in tune with your podcast.
Just follow Shirtless Plantain Show. I'm not important. Just follow the Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere. Euros are starting, Copa America starting, so we're gonna be doing a podcast every day after every game for Euros and Copa America. So I'm already tired thinking about it, but we're gonna do that. I might have some Copa America action for you guys next week from Atlanta, maybe. We'll see. But yeah.
Stay in tune, man. Courtney, we will see you on Monday. Tosin, it's always good to have you on, brother.
Thank you,
We're
brother.
have you on soon.
Right.
Me and Pavy will be back after the break, and we're gonna bring in the homie Big Dave. We're gonna try to save the once iconic Chicago Bulls. We'll be back.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the
As you can see, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the local hour. Or as Dante and Bang ain't here, so I'm gonna sing it. It's the local hour. We gonna have this as we talk all Chicago sports. If you want to just see the local hour without the other hour and a half or 2 hours that we did before this, you can subscribe to the Barber's Chair Net Patreon and you can check that out, man. But we are getting ready to bring in our guest for today for the local hour. We've got my guy, Big Dave from CHGO Bulls. I'm gonna take Pavy out of this a minute because this nigga must went to the bathroom. We'll add him back in a minute. But Dave, man, what's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Peace, man. Listen, y'all are just hilarious, bro. Like I'm over here dying. Yo, my question is, do you feel that way about CJ because he's a rookie or just quarterbacks in general?
No, because he's a rookie. I just took it as this, like, I'm a fan of CJ Stroud. I like him. I thought what he did was cool. I'm rooting for him outside of week 3 when the Bears play him. But I don't know. I just feel like I feel like with a year 2, it's kind of like what a artist put out a hot album, and it's like sophomore verse. Like we've seen a lot of quarterbacks. They're great their rookie year, and they're not as great the second. It's a very Boomer complaint. I don't know what he's doing in the facility. He's probably killing it in OTAs and minicamp. I was just watching. He's on every podcast, and then when I saw him on Volley and Gill, I was like, "What are we doing?" Like, at least Micah's been in the league for a couple years. You know, Micah got a couple All-Pro Player of the Year. That's a different kind of thing. I just was like, okay, CJ, you out here ranking quarterbacks. Like, let's chill out a little bit. But Dave, man, definitely glad to have you on. Let them know where they can follow you. I know I've been watching a lot of you guys off-season content, man. Big shout out to the entire CHGO family. I was just on CHGO late night with the homie Greg Braggs and Corey Wooten. I was on there. But yeah, man, what's been going on with you, G?
Man, you know, just doing the shows, enjoying doing the shows. Like there's a real sickness because I enjoy talking about this team on a daily basis. So it's just fun to do, you know, with Matt and with Will, with Joey. We got some guests coming in too. We're going to start that process as well. But yeah, I'm just excited for the draft. I'm excited to see Summer League. So I'm just kind of getting ready for that and, you know, chilling out when I can, you know what I mean? But outside of that, yeah, man, just talking about these Bulls, bro.
Now, my homie Pavy here, we're of course we're all from Chicago. Pavy isn't a Bulls fan, but he's not a Bulls hater at the same time. Huh?
I ain't a Bears fan either.
Yeah, we know you're not. We're not getting into that either. But like he's been hitting us with the hard truth of the Bulls the last couple years, which I just didn't want to accept for the longest time. But let's get into really what this offseason kind of pertains for the Bulls, what's on the line. You got the potential DeMar DeRozan extension, which from everything we've been hearing from Darnell Mayberry at the Athletic, from Casey Johnson, that it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to be $40 million a year, which I think is crazy for that nigga his age. It's insanity. And I love DeMar, but that's crazy. Yeah. You got that. You got the potential draft moves. I think they're the 11th or the 13th pick this year.
11.
They're 11th. The 11th pick this year. There's been rumors about them trading up until the, early in the draft. I don't know any of these niggas in this draft. I'm gonna be honest.
I know a couple of them, man.
I don't know none. Only names I know is from Pat, what you said, and when Dave, with y'all, the names y'all been bringing up on y'all's show. But you got that. There's rumors of a Patrick Williams signing trade. OKC was brought up, and it would be peak Chicago sports if this nigga went to OKC and actually reached his potential. Nothing would shock me more than that. And then you've got the elephant in the room of Zach LaVine's trade value. You have some people saying that he's going to stay in Chicago because the trade value isn't what it is. There's some people saying, why don't you package him with the Alex Caruso? Maybe you can get you some picks out of that. What do you think about just these things? And what do you think is kind of like on the line for the Bulls this all season before we get to actual specific stuff, especially coming off what AK said in this season in press conference saying that, I know we messed up. This crew obviously doesn't work. We're going to change it. What are you realistically expecting this offseason?
Man, I wish I could say I'm expecting things to be completely different. Like I want to take AK at his word because he was like that when he first got here. When he said what he wanted to do, he did it. I was like, okay, he want to make trades. He want to go out. He want to get free agents in. He wanted to make it a free agent destination. He want to do those kind of things. He went out and did everything he said he wanted to do. Then after that, everything kind of changed because when Lonzo's knee went down, everything changed. And he just felt like a guy who was just holding on and just wanted to see his project work. And you can see it's clearly not working, but he keeps trying to replay it over and over again. So he comes out this time and he's like, well, we expected major changes. We this ain't good enough. We got to start over. I want to take him at his word, but everything I'm seeing is saying, I don't know if I could do that. Now, they have to make moves because it's either they keep this together and go over the luxury tax or they actually make moves. They are not paying the luxury tax. We all know that. They're not about to pay that at all. They only paid it once. Not the Reinsdorf way, bro. They only done it once in their whole history, bro. Like, they're not doing that. So since they're not doing that, they're gonna have to make trades. And obviously, the trade they want to make is Zach LaVine because they are in love with DeMar DeRozan. Do I want to keep DeMar? No, I love DeMar. He's amazing. He's great, but no. I'm not giving him that to stay here. You might as well just to continue to be mid. You know what I mean? Just to continue to be a team that's trying to reach the play-in. Like, I'm not giving them that kind of money for that, but they want to do that. So there it is. It feels like that's what they want to do. Like you said, we had Darnell on the show. He was saying that same thing. Like, it just feels like that's what it's going to be. So it feels like they're going to try to keep DeMar, and it feels like Zach LaVine is the main thing they want to trade and want to get rid of. And I feel like that's their big move. I've been trying to get them to trade Caruso since last year. I've been wanting that to happen because he's like I told you, bro, he's like rims on a car, and he's a luxury. You know, he's who you get when you're ready to win. It made sense when they got him because they were making moves and they looked like they were, you know, trying to make those moves in the standings and be a team that wins. But now they're not. So now you just got a broke down, you know, whack ass car with some dope rims on it. And that don't make no sense. You need an engine. You know what I mean? You need brakes. You know what I mean? You need a bunch of other stuff on your vehicle. You need to trade those rims in and go get something to help your car run. So you get rid of that stuff right there. So yes, trade Caruso. When I heard when Woj was reporting they turned down 2 first-round picks, Caruso, man, I was throwing shit. I was like, that was annoying to hear. Like, I couldn't believe it, dog. Like, who does that? Like, for a bench player, like, it didn't make sense. But they got to trade Caruso, man. His value is incredibly high right now. Teams truly want him more than they want Zach LaVine because of that contract that Caruso's on. And he's, you know, a really good defensive player who can elevate your team. So I see those 2 moves being the most logical things that happen for the Bulls that can actually get them back some assets and set them up for next year.
Pat, what do you think is on the line for the Bulls this offseason? Now, we said in the second hour that we were talking about the Lakers, like, you know, the Lakers are going down Bulls Boulevard, and, you know, the Bulls don't have to win because fans are going to keep showing up. But what do you think they have to do from a basketball perspective? Like, what's on the line for them this offseason?
First of all, nothing's on the line. They're not going to be good. If they keep people, they're not going to be good. Nothing's on the line. Now, what they should do, I was in the trade machine working. Trade everybody, all of them. Zach LaVine, call up the Orlando Magic, ask for Joe Ingles, Mo Wagner, ask for the 18th pick this year and Denver's pick next year. You may not get Denver's pick next year, whatever, or just ask for like 1 pick and like 1 second-round pick. Get Mo Wagner and get Joe Ingles. The trade works. I'll put it in. Will it help you win games? No, but we're not trying to win games. Then you go and you trade Alex Caruso. I don't know who want him, but somebody can get him. You trade Vucevic. You get all 1-year deals back because we're trying to suck and we want cap room. So you get all 1-year deals back, and you get some guys that, you know, you can be next year around the trade deadline. Maybe you can be players like, yo, we got this guy on a 1-year deal. If you think he could come in and help your franchise, you can come get him from us. You go out there, get a ball at Kobe White, sign and trade Patrick Williams, or just sign and trade Patrick Williams because people want to get some assets, or just don't offer him a contract, whatever. Just gut the whole roster. Suck. The problem with the Bulls for the most part is they really, outside of like 1 year, they really haven't ever tried to for real rebuild. Yeah. Like, I think they, like, after the Jimmy thing happened, they went to a rebuild, but then they made the Vucevic trade, which you tried to extend your timeline. Well, not extend, but you tried to move up your timeline, which led you to doing a DeMar DeRozan deal, which led you to doing the Alonzo deal, which led you to doing a Caruso deal because you want to speed up your timeline because you were trying to win now. Much respect. You tried it. Alonzo got hurt. It didn't work. Basically, in my personal opinion, just gut the roster, bro. Gut the roster. Suck. If I'm not mistaken, they have their picks in the future. It seems like next year's draft will be a good draft. Gut the roster, bro. Like, this roster isn't going anywhere. So, like I said, trade Zach, trade Vooch, trade Caruso. Anybody with any type, if they want Kobe, trade Kobe. Anybody with any type of value needs to go off the roster, and you need to get terrible, awful, and build it back up from the ground up. That's really the only option. Like the NBA, the worst place to be is decent. If you're decent, it's like you can't really like if you that 6 to 10 seed. Nah, you don't want to be that. You either want to suck or you want to be great. You don't want to be decent. And right now they are on that day. They're just decent. Like, they're not going to make any real noise in the playoffs, but also their draft pick is usually in that weird range where it's like you could get a bust or you could get a player.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the weird part about it. And by the way, Shams just tweeted that Kristaps Porzingis is playing tonight. So I'm okay.
No,
It's
a wrap.
fall out.
Yeah, that nigga gonna let his
Really.
leg fall off or whatever. But anyway, to me, it's kind of like I agree with both y'all points. As a fan, if I had faith in the front office as far as drafting, now I know I've been on the front lines with really all of Bulls fans. I mean, that was a fucking billboard saying firing Garpax. Like, but at least Garpax had good draft picks. Like, at least they knew how to draft. I mean, whether it's from the Jimmy Butler trade and Jimmy Butler draft, even early before that, we're not gonna give him Derrick Rose because a blind man would have drafted Derrick Rose. But even though there's players who didn't work with the team, they became good. Like, if you want to look at Ron Artest, Brad Miller, Jamal Crawford, like I said, Jimmy Butler. Look at Daniel Gafford's impact. They drafted Daniel Gafford. The one good player that they got on this team who was drafted, Kobe White, that wasn't drafted by AK and Mark Eversley. That was, I think, the final Garpax pick. So they at least knew how to draft.
Question though. What are the AK picks? I know Patrick Williams and then
Patrick Williams, was it
Io.
Julian, Io, and with Julian Phillips,
and Dalen Terry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but again, like, look where they're picking at. You're picking in a range where the Patrick Williams thing I will excuse because it was a COVID year. And the COVID draft was just really weird. You didn't have an NCAA tournament. You didn't really get to bring guys in and like work them out like that. So the Patrick Williams thing I will excuse because, again, the COVID year was just a very weird draft for everybody. Like, Tyrese probably wouldn't have went as low as he went.
Yeah, he did.
Killian Hayes probably wouldn't have got fucking drafted in general. So that was a really, really like weird year. And then like the other picks, like, I mean, they did hit on IO second round. He's going to be at least a 10-year pro. May not be a star, but he'll be a 10-year pro. And then the Dalen Terry and the other ones, like, they pick in the weird, like the 18, 19, where it's weird, bro. Like, you really chancing it at that point in time. So I won't give them too much flack for their draft picks, personally.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm saying the only reason I give him a little flack for that is because that's what AK has said repeatedly what he wants to pick at. He said, I hate picking high. He doesn't like picking number 4. That's why he took Patrick Williams, was because it was a guy nobody was really looking at, or really, he tried to sneak one in on everybody. But he likes picking low. Like, that's been his whole MO. Like, that's why he hung his hat on the whole getting Jokic in the second round. You know what I'm saying? Like, he enjoys kind of stuff. So that's why he traded 2 second rounders to get Julian Phillips. Like, he likes picking low and in the middle.
Fucking line. He picked Jamal Murray 7.
2 second round picks.
Line. He walked up there and told y'all some bullshit. He fucking lying. He picked Jamal
That's
Murray.
what he said. That's what he said. Again, that's what I'm saying. You taking the cat at his word, talking that shit.
Was a damn lottery pick. Michael Porter Jr. was a fucking lottery pick. He lying.
He was like 14. Michael Porter Jr. was like 14th, man.
Lottery pick.
Dalen is 18. Like, he liked picking in that middle. He liked picking in that middle right there. That's where he likes that shit. That's what he say all the time. I like it in the middle. That's how he roll.
Man, that's just where his draft picks have been at because the teams ain't been that bad. He don't like picking in the damn middle.
This I don't buy that.
Who the hell don't want the number 1 pick in the draft? Except for maybe this year. Fuck out of here.
But that's the thing too, where it's like when you look at what he's saying, like there was so much. Like, if we go back to 4 years ago, there was so much. I don't know if first of all, I didn't even know who the nigga was. I think a lot of Bulls fans didn't know who he was. We were just happy that Garpax wasn't here no more. And I think it coincided with the Last Dance coming out at the same time. And we can turn things around. What if we get the number 1 draft pick? There were years where the Bulls were legitimately bad, but they just didn't get the bounce to be able to get the Zion or to get the Luka or Trae Young. It just didn't fall their way. But if you look at the draft picks, I don't think that Patrick Williams was a bad pick, because if you look at the skill or the skill set that he has, I think Pat's biggest problem, and Dave, I see y'all say this after every game almost, he don't be aggressive. It's like he'll have a good game or a couple good games, and he act like he ain't never picked up a basketball before after that. Yeah, and it's been the inconsistencies where it's like he doesn't believe in himself. So I'm not mad at that pick. But the others in this draft right here, I don't know any of these names, but we look in a couple years from now, these guys got to be actual good rotation guys. Io was a solid pick too, so I guess I'll give him that. So I kind of look, it's probably 50-50, but this year, you got to hit. If I believed in them, I will be with you, Pav. Just tear it all down. I don't believe they'll be able to do that. And also, I know the Reinsdorfs don't want to do that. They don't want to. The Reinsdorf motto is not the reason.
Then they're going to suck, and welcome to basketball hell for the rest of your life.
They enjoy that. Yeah, he wants to. He wants to compete. AK keeps saying that shit. He want to be in the middle. He want to compete. He want to do all that stuff. So yeah, that is definitely basketball hell for them. And even more incentive for them to be bad next year is that pick going into that loaded draft that's coming up next year. That's a top 10 protected pick. When they got DeMar, that's what they traded to the Spurs. It's a top 10 protected pick. So if they in the middle again, what's the chances of that being in the top 10? They got more the chance to being outside of it if they trying to win next year, man. And that could really screw it up.
Granted, I know DeMar is on his last deal, and he's not gonna get no more for real deals after this. It's probably his last time to get some real money. But DeMar, don't you want to win basketball games for real, bro?
Where's he going?
Man, I keep saying that.
Good God. I don't fucking somewhere, G. Like somewhere, bro.
Like you got.
But don't you want to win
at some
basketball?
Point, you gotta want to win, bro. Yeah.
But I also think
at some point
with DeMar, I think, especially if you've seen from any interviews that he done, it's more about comfort for him. You know what I'm saying? And like where he's comfortable being, and he really loves being in Chicago. I'm with you. I would want to win, but I realize a lot of these players just want the money. And if I'm gonna have a team be dumb like the Bulls, pay me $40 million a year, well, who am I to turn that down?
Yeah, I get it. It's gonna be your last big deal. I don't know. Maybe like 33, 34 years old at this point. So if you sign a 3-year deal, that takes you to 37 years old. I know people are playing longer, but I don't think DeMar DeRozan is gonna be playing basketball at 42 years old. So it's probably your last deal. I get it, but again, bro, like I would think at some point in time you want to try to at least go for it one more time, bro.
He flirted with the idea of playing with the Lakers. He did an interview with the Pivot. I don't know if y'all saw that. And basically what I got from that interview is, I know these niggas are gonna pay me, but just in case they don't, I wouldn't mind going back to the Lakers. But you're not gonna win anything with the Lakers either. You don't fit with that team at all. Like at all.
No, not at all.
I mean, but you can talk yourself into that. I'm with Braun, I'm with AD. You can talk yourself into that. You're not going to win probably, but you can talk yourself into that. This bullshit, there's no road to success. You are going to go to the play-in and play, I don't know, the fucking Nets, probably beat the Nets and lose to the Heat again.
Let's talk about the Lonzo Ball factor here, man, because I also think that's one thing that kind of, when this team was put together 3 years ago, it was all focused around Lonzo Ball. Like, what can Lonzo Ball do? Like, Lonzo Ball got a decent contract. He's one of the reasons we were talking about tampering in the second hour, where the Bulls tampered to get Lonzo. But he has not been on the court. When he was on the court, this team made sense. The offense looked good. Now, I'm not finna go people like, oh, number one team. It was January, my nigga. Like, I'm not finna, give you rose petals for, being number one team after not even 60 days. Like, not even 90 days. So I'm not going to do all of that, especially when they got washed by the good teams. But it was a different looking team with Lonzo Ball in there. So he's been off for 2 whole seasons. He had multiple surgeries. And with the whole thing with him and Stephen A. Smith, where Stephen A. was like, man, can't even walk. Then he put up a video basically proving Stephen A.'s point that he can't walk. But now we're hearing that he is expected to play, and they wouldn't be shocked if he's in training camp. Dave, what do you think about this whole role Lonzo's having? And should the Bulls, the team, or the fans expect anything from him this upcoming season?
No. I just expect him to be healthy, bro. Like him saying he's going to be back on the floor is good to hear. And I want to see him back on the floor, but for me, it's not even on some man for the Bulls kind of situation. I'm just happy the dude can play basketball again at some kind of capacity, if that's going to be the case. But if he happens to get out there and play, for me, it's going to be so you can showcase him to teams around the league, because you might want to get rid of him and trade him to get something, anything out of it, whether it's a roll of tape or some socks. But because he's in the final year of this deal, it's $20 million after that. They clearly not bringing him back. So you got to walk away and try to get yourself something out of it. And I'm sure he wants another contract, but it ain't going to be here. So I think that's all this is for him this season with the Bulls, is just showing the rest of the league that he can still function.
I'm with you. I'm just glad the nigga can walk, because it looked like he could.
Lonzo a damn meniscus transplant.
Yes.
Like
yes.
And you asked us what
never
we
happened.
expect from him.
Yo,
Like, yeah.
Pav is disgusted by every question I'm asking.
bro. Bro, I'm with y'all. I'm just happy the man life will be fine after this. Playing basketball is a plus. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, if you come back, I mean, ain't nobody never had no fucking meniscus transplant. So I don't know what he gonna look like. Maybe the doctor did something and completely fixed his knee. But regardless, like, still, I'm with you, bro. Like, they all gotta go. The run over, bro. They all gotta go.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get him somewhere else. I doubt you probably can. You probably just gonna have to let his deal run out because he is getting paid $21 million. So you probably, and I don't know anybody who taking a trade in somebody unless he come back and he's incredible. I don't know who taking somebody for $21 million that had a meniscus transplant, a knee transplant. So you probably just go ahead and let this contract run out. But God bless the man. I mean, like, look, man, if he can come back and play NBA basketball, like, that's incredible. So yeah, God bless the man.
Yeah, I have
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, bro. Like, I've never heard like they said they had to take
transplant.
They had to take cartilage from somebody else's knee.
I'm like, give him cartilage.
I'm like, bro, like, I would just be happy I could walk down some stairs. Like, I wouldn't be thinking
seriously
about playing basketball. And
like, look at his knee if you get a chance, bro. It looked like a Rorschach test, man. Like, for real, bro. Like, it looked crazy. It looked crazy.
Like, I just kind of like, man, as a fan, it's just like, dude, like, this was it was fumbled so badly. Like, let's just go to the Vooch trade too. Like, I remember when it happened, I actually liked it. I actually liked the deal. I was like, I don't care about those picks. But then you look at Orlando, them making the playoffs this year, going to 7 games. Paolo looks like a star. The Wagner brothers in general, they look good. And Vooch, the extension they gave him last year, it was just what it just for me it kind of like we're gonna double down on this trade by paying him to make y'all know that, oh, I think I did a good move. You got to get off that too. There's so many bad deals and lack of picks, and just it's a nowhere train going fast. Like, Dave, what do you think about the Vooch aspect with this as well?
Look, I was with you when the trade happened. I was happy because just one, they did something. I was like, okay, 2 picks is a lot, but all right, you know what I mean? It's all good. We'll roll with it. And then it came back and definitely slapped them in the face real hard. And Vooch just got super exposed every time you see him out there playing on the floor. But like you said, that contract they gave him after you saw the flaws, after you saw how it, didn't really truly work with him, and what else you have to kind of get around him to get the kind of offense and defense Billy Donovan want to run. And then you give him like guaranteed money, like 60 mil guaranteed out there for the next 3 years, which is wild. And he's clearly on the decline. You sitting there watching him play, and it is all decline every time you just look at him on the floor, man. Like, those stats that came out showing he was the worst rim defender. You know what I mean? He's just not good, man. He's just terrible. He's ass when he's playing defense, bro. So I don't know what they do with that. I don't know what team wants that. When you want to trade it for Vooch, again, if you want, you have to attach stuff to that to get a team to take Vooch, or a team just super desperate. But I don't know a team out there like that. So you just got to roll with that, and you just got to play out his contract, man, until you can do something. But yeah, they're kind of stuck with that. But they put themselves in that position.
Pat, what you think about I know you're a Vooch fan when he was in Orlando. What do you think about the deal?
Somebody could still use Vooch, man. The man still 18 points, 10 boards, basically 50% from the field. His shooting dropped off, but he's like, somebody could still use Vooch. I do agree you would probably have to attack something with him, but somebody could still use Vooch. I think the trade at first, I think it was a good trade. I mean, like, the man came in. And at that point in time, if I'm not mistaken, Zach didn't. You're not wrong about that. And at that point in time, if I'm not mistaken, Zach hadn't signed a contract. And also Zach is a huge part of it. Like, Zach got hurt and ain't been the same since. Because Zach LaVine, since before the knee injury, since before the Bucks series, is not the same Zach LaVine that we've been having since. So I just think the whole thing for the Bulls, really the story of the Bulls since Michael Jordan, is just unfortunate events. Jay Williams goes out on a motorcycle, decides he wants to be fast and furious, and unfortunately, hurts himself. Derrick Rose, he tears his ACL the first year before, like, you gave him the max. The first year of his max contract, he wasn't playing because he tore his ACL. So like that, and then like the Zach thing comes, and like the Vooch thing again. Like I think that when they made the trade, obviously a good thing. You want to try to show Zach that we are committed to winning. So you make the deal. And I mean, I don't know why they re-signed him, but I mean, I guess the man say he want to be quote unquote competitive. So I guess that's why you do it. I wouldn't have re-signed him if I was playing 2K my GM mode. He definitely wouldn't have been on my team no more. But I mean, again, I don't really know what to say about these things. Like, if the man say he want to be competitive, then I mean, I guess you just in basketball hell, bro. Like, I don't really know.
Well, here's a better question, and we're gonna talk about this. Then we're gonna wrap this up. And actually, Dave, I want to get your opinion on some Bear stuff because I know you like talking football, and we haven't talked since the Caleb Williams era has started. But my question, I'm gonna go to Pat first, and I'm gonna go to Dave because I'm pretty sure that even if he is brought back, he's going to be gone by All-Star break. Do you think that there's anything left? Not anything left, but do you think there's anything Zach can bring to another team? Because I kind of feel like last year the discussion on Bulls Twitter got real toxic around Zach LaVine, and I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I wasn't part of it. But I think for what we wanted Zach LaVine to be and what he really is, Zach LaVine is a good player. He's not a franchise-changing player or anybody who's gonna be number one or number two on a really, really good team. But Pat, do you think there's a team out there that he could really, really help to win games?
Yeah, for sure. Like Orlando, a team that needs more offense. That's why I mentioned the Magic thing. I think the Kings are the team that he can help. Like, if you're a guy who needs a team that needs more offense in your backcourt, granted, he's an expensive option because it's $200 million that you got to pay him, which is expensive as hell. But yeah, Zach doesn't suck. I mean, granted, again, like, hopefully, with his foot surgery, he can come back and be healthy. But when he's there, he's still giving you at worst 22 points, around 40% from three, 40-something% from the field. He can still play. I just think that he was in a situation here in Chicago in which you wanted him to be, your franchise guy, which, I mean, shit, I thought he could have been that at one point in time, but it didn't work out. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have value for somebody else. I just think that his contract doesn't make him a shiny option for a lot of teams because, I mean, do you want to pay $200 million for 22 points? I swear to God, you can find that cheaper. But yes, I do think that he can still help a basketball team.
What's crazy? A team I can think that I actually think that he could help, which is crazy because he was actually the team that he got drafted by. I think he can help Minnesota.
Hell no.
Minnesota.
Yeah, I think you don't think he can help Minnesota. I think he can help Minnesota.
Boy, you trying to bankrupt that owner.
I
paid $222 million. Cat getting paid $22 million. Rudy on a supermax. Fucking Ant about to get a mat, boy. Hell no.
I didn't say financially that A-Rod is going to have to make some cuts and some calls. I'm just saying on the basketball court, the biggest problem to me with the Wolves, they need a third scorer. And
the reason I don't agree is because he would have come off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, that's I believe. How many teams he's starting on? Like good teams, he's starting on right now.
The Magic.
Okay.
Magic he's starting on, yeah, for sure.
Would you? I'm talking about like a team that like has a chance to like make it to a conference final. Is what I mean.
The Orlando Magic.
You think the Orlando Magic makes a conference final with Zach LaVine?
Yeah, I think
they got a chance. I think they
could. Yeah. If you again, I said give up Mo Wagner and give up fucking Joe Ingles. Yeah, I mean, like, look, if Paolo keeps trending the way he's trending, Franz Wagner can continue to get better. They still do have defense. They have Cole Anthony. They did pick up Anthony Black in the draft. If he can get better, like if Paolo is going to be one of those top 5 to 10 guys, why the fuck can't they?
Dave, what you think about Zach, man? What you think he got left in the tank and helping the winning team?
I mean, I agree with Pat, man. Like, it's hard to find dudes who get you 25, 5, and 5. Like that dude, and Zach LaVine can give you a 50, 40, 80. Like his 50, 40, 80 season is like 50, 40, 85. You know what I mean? Like he's that kind of ball player. And the main issues for him is contract and health. And I'll even throw winning in there too, because he ain't been used to winning until, like Lonzo got here. That was the first time in his career he won 4 games in a row. Was when Lonzo got here. They won 4 straight out the gate, like ever in his career, which is wild to say. But Zach LaVine is a scorer. He is a ball player, man. Like, it's rare to find a dude with that kind of first step. It's rare to find a dude with that kind of athleticism who can also shoot like that. Like, his three-point shot is lethal. Even last year, he clearly wasn't playing or wasn't healthy, however you want to say it. Even then, he still dropped 51 on Detroit. Like even it, like he's that kind of player, man. Like Zach LaVine is super good, and he can definitely help a basketball team. But that is just that money, and it's that injury, man. Like, can he be healthy? I think teams would take a chance on that if they knew that. But the only way to show that is for him to get out there and play.
Definitely, man. One quick thing, we're gonna get you out here, and me and Pav gonna wrap up. Just quickly, bro, tell me what's your excitement level for these Bears? What you looking forward to heading into training camp? You know, there's gonna be hard knocks there. The Caleb Williams era is officially here. Tell me what's on your mind,
man. I mean, I'm tempered, you know what I'm saying, in my excitement, but I'm excited, bro. Like I'm super excited. They're doing everything I've watched other good football teams do throughout my life. And they're taking all those right steps. You're like, yeah, that's the right move. Yeah, that's the right move. Yeah, that's the right move. Offensively and defensively. You bring in Caleb Williams into a situation with a wide receiver core that is absolutely ridiculous. With DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert back there, with Cole Kmet. So he got weapons. They're shoring up the offensive line. The defense is already ahead of the offense, which is rare for a rookie to walk into. And not just ahead. I mean, one of the best in the league kind of defense is what he's kind of walking into, with arguably the best secondary in the NFL. Like, you can argue that those things. So for that to be said about the Chicago Bears, the team I've been watching all my life, man, listen, dog. Like, the excitement level is real. I'm super excited because it's not just emotional fandom. It's logic behind it when you sit watching it.
It's not fan-blinded optimism. It's legit optimism. And I think that's what the overall feeling is. And I'm really excited. I'm excited to be able to cover a team. Nigga, the last 3 years have been rough. I've seen 14 wins combined, nigga. So I'm looking forward to.
I'm going through what you're going through now, bro. Covering this squad. What you said? I'm going through what it is right now, dog.
It is rough, so I'm looking forward to all of that, man. But Dave, man, always good to have you on, bro. Let them know where they can follow you. I know you guys are doing a draft event. Let them know how they can get in with y'all.
Man, you follow me on Instagram at Big Dave CHGO. You can follow me on Twitter at Ball Sports BAWL Sports. You got to say it like Avery Johnson saying it. We're doing our draft party June 26th. At PB&J. It's a free event. You can RSVP and come through, hang out. We're gonna be doing a live show from there with a bunch of Bulls fans. It's those draft parties, those events we do are always a lot of fun to do, man. So just come and hang out, man, have some drinks, laugh or cry with us, either one. But we're gonna be there, man, doing the show. So yeah, make sure you're watching us on CHGO Bulls, myself, Matt, and Will, just covering the Bulls every single day, bro. We're gonna be there.
Definitely, man. Always good to holler at you, bro. You be good.
Peace, bro. Y'all be good, man.
Yes, sir. We're going to wrap this up, man. Pav, I know y'all about to do hoops and brews, man. What y'all doing? A live stream?
Yeah, live stream for this wretched basketball game.
So stay tuned on this channel, H&B Media TV, to watch all of that, man. Like I said, depending on how the finals ends, if the final ends tonight, Monday will be our last show for 2 weeks. If the finals continues, then next week will be our last week, and we'll be off for about 10 to 14 days, and then we're going to do this, as you see, starting Friday, July 5th. I'm not going to hold you the off season each and every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We will be holding it down up until week 1 of the NFL season. And then week 1, we will go back to our regular twice a week schedule. Y'all can follow Pav at Pavy World on all social media platforms. Y'all can follow me at Barberchair Scott. Y'all can follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. Get in tune with H&B Media. Go to H&B Media TV on Twitter, H&B Media on Instagram. Get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can go to pillarsclub.co or pillars_club to get your online gear, or you can go in person to any of their 3 store locations. There's one in West Loop in Chicagoland. It's 1167 West Madison Street. There's one also in the Chicago Ridge Mall, and the new one in the Orland Park Mall, man. So get everything they've got on tune for that. Pav, I appreciate you for joining me, holding it down for me while My guys have been out. Shout out to Tosin for joining and being a guest host as well. On Monday, the full crew will be back. Dante will be back. Bang be back from his Illuminati meeting. Courtney be back. Everybody be back, and we're gonna be on maybe recap NBA championship, man. So we gonna holler at y'all, man, and we up out of here.